News Channel, Nebraska. NCN Sports is presented by Currency. Currency makes financing quick, easy, and secure for machinery, ag equipment, and more. Visit gocurrency.com. Faith Regional Health Services. When you need exemplary care, have faith. Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose. Find out more at libertyfirstcu.com. And by Teammates Mentoring. Join the team, be a mentor. Go to teammates.org today.
It's a good Friday for baseball in north central Nebraska. And the latest installment of a longtime local rivalry as Columbus takes on Norfolk on this Friday afternoon. And hi, everybody. Welcome on into Pawnee Park in Columbus, Nebraska, alongside Elijah Moser and our entire crew here on News Channel Nebraska. I'm Tim Hackett. Thanks so much for joining us and tuning in for what we are hoping for will be a really good game. Elijah, I know you are familiar with this territory, and I think it's safe to say that whenever these two schools take the field, take the floor, whatever it is against each other, when these two schools face off, there's a lot on the line.
Yeah, there's a little bit more in the action. There's a little bit more wanting to win whenever you got Columbus and Norfolk facing off against each other. And they faced each other off in the first game of the season. So now you're a month later, both these teams looking for some momentum. It's a great place to get things started.
There's so many things about these two teams that are similar this year. Columbus is 5-10. Norfolk is 4-11 to this point. But like Elijah just said, one of Norfolk's 4 wins came against Columbus in the season opener almost exactly a month ago. So what can these two teams learn from that game, knowing that it was 15 games ago, almost exactly a month ago? What can these two teams bring from that game into this one here today?
Well, for Norfolk, you don't even think about it. It's a brand new game. You're still looking for another win here today. For Columbus, you put that in your in the back of your mind, and you're like, okay, we want to get them this time. We lost them last time. Now let's get them this time.
It is the 38th meeting between these two schools since 2008. They have faced off almost every year since then. Columbus has a firm stranglehold on the all-time series, but Norfolk has won 4 in a row, including the head-to-head matchup a month ago. So many things about these two teams are similar, Elijah, and that makes me think that we're in for a really good game here today.
Yeah, very similar all across the board, even down to the shades of maroons that they wear. And so that's why it's the Maroon Cup rivalry, and it's going to be even greater to see the first edition on this brand-new turf field here in Pawnee.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, this is territory that you are familiar with. It's my first time here, and my first impressions could not be much better. It's absolutely beautiful.
Brand new dugouts, too. Everything besides the scoreboard and the outfield fence, brand new, and it's really cool to see.
Players starting to take the field for these two teams. Again, the latest chapter of this long-time rivalry. We'll take a break. First pitch is coming up shortly. You're watching high school baseball on News Channel Nebraska.
We're here at Faith Regional, where every month you have the opportunity to get a free skin cancer screening. Let's learn more about the process. I'm here with Amy Jorgensen, a physician's assistant with breast care and plastic surgery. Right now we're talking about skin cancer screenings. What should people be on the lookout for in regards to possible skin cancer?
So we always talk about the A, B, C, Ds, and E's of melanoma, but I think that applies to any sort of skin cancers. So A, asymmetry. Look at the borders. If you draw a line through your skin lesion and the sides look different, that's always the A. B is the borders, so does it look nice and round, or does it look kind of more scalloped? C is color, so if we have skin lesions that are changing colors. D is diameter, so anything bigger than the size of a pencil eraser, I would definitely have checked out. And then the E is evolving, so things that are changing rapidly, things that are easily bleeding, so you're drying off after a shower or you barely itch your skin and it bleeds.
So if you do notice something that you want to get checked out and you come in for a screening, what should you expect?
We offer the screenings here in our office. It is a by appointment screening, so you just call and make an appointment, and we'll get you scheduled.
When you look at skin cancer right now, how common is it?
1 in 5 Americans usually will be diagnosed with skin cancer by the time they're 70.
Wow, and you can detect that here through a free screening.
Absolutely.
How special is that you get to offer that here at Faith Regional?
Oh, it's amazing because a lot of times patients are saying it's very hard to get into dermatology. And so they're letting these skin lesions go for 6 months to a year. And they can rapidly change, and especially a melanoma, which is the most serious of skin cancers. Being caught early, your treatment can be much different compared to letting it grow for a long amount of time.
Amy, thanks so much for taking time.
Absolutely.
Pre-game show is brought to you by Custom Sports. Look great for every game with custom team or business apparel from Custom Sports. Check them out at CustomSportsCo.com.
Welcome back to Pawnee Park in Columbus, Nebraska. We are all set and ready to go for the latest installment of this longtime local rivalry, Columbus versus Norfolk. Second time this year that these two local schools meet on the baseball diamond, and the first time that they meet on this brand new turf field here in Columbus. Happy to have you with us, everybody. Tim Hackett and Elijah Moser here with you in the booth. Our full NCN crew with us as well. And like we said, these two schools are very familiar with each other. They have faced off almost every year for the last 2 decades plus, probably even since Brian Dish was a student at Norfolk High School back in the day. Two of the larger high schools in the greater Nebraska area, certainly schools that we cover here on News Channel Nebraska. And we'll take a look at some of our school spotlights as we get ready for this matchup. First up, Norfolk, not too far away from here, less than an hour to the north, makes for a pretty short trip, and I'm sure something they were excited for after the very full week that they have had so far. This will be their 4th game played since Monday.
Yeah, will be as well. The Panthers almost 1,000, and so very cool. Pretty quick drive down Highway 81 down to Columbus.
Currency makes financing quick, easy, and secure for machinery, ag equipment, and more. Visit GoCurrency.com. And making that short trip down Highway 81 here to Columbus, another one of the largest schools that we will cover here on News Channel Nebraska. They have a stranglehold on this all-time series, but Norfolk has won the last 4 in an area that I know you are very familiar with, Elijah.
Well, I've lived here the last 10 years of my life, so very familiar with it indeed. Beautiful town, and looks like we are about ready to play some baseball.
Let's do this. Looking forward to it. We are expecting and hoping for a really good game here this afternoon. Norfolk's the road team. They won when they were the home team almost exactly a month ago. And here we go. Spencer Shotkoski will be the starting pitcher for Columbus. And the righty winds and fires. His first pitch of the afternoon misses outside on Jordan Schnorr. So here is the starting lineup for the Panthers. We'll bring it to you over the course of this AB. They're 4-11 coming into this afternoon with one of those wins against Columbus. Swing and a miss by Schnorr, who had a breakout game when these two teams faced off a month ago. So Schnorr leads off. He's in right field. Then it's Ethan Sinovec in center. Aiden Papstein bats third and plays left. That is a pretty typical top 3 for the Panthers this year as Shotkoski misses outside. Braylon Vada makes his return to the lineup. Missed a handful of games earlier this year. Returned on Tuesday. He's in the cleanup spot and playing shortstop. Hayden Kelly bats 5th as the catcher. 2-1 on Schnorr, way upstairs. Alex Mekshantsev bats 6th. He's the designated hitter. Wes Koenig bats 7th. He's at first. Maddox Magnuson bats 8th. He's at third base. And Caleb Dish stays in the starting lineup, batting 9th and playing second. 3-1 on Schnorr. That's downstairs and a leadoff walk for the Norfolk sophomore.
Not a great start there if you're Shotkoski. Want to try to find that zone early on, try to build up that confidence, and gives up a base runner on 5 pitches to lead things off.
He puts a good base runner on base as well. These two teams are both solid stealing. Average about 2 per game. And Schnorr is very capable. He leads the team with 6 stolen bases. Takes his lead off first. Shawkowski's first offering misses outside on Ethan Sinovic. So very early on in the game, Ethan, but we are starting to see a trend here. 2 lefty hitters to lead things off, and Shawkowski missing arm side, outside against these lefties consistently so far. Quick look back and a throw over to first, and Schnorr dives in.
Yeah, this is just where you, throughout the ball game, try to find your zone.
Pretty clean, quick pickoff move there from Shawkowski. Get a good look at it on our replay, and he'll do it again. So the pretty typical standard starting 3 in the order, and conveniently right field, center field, left field in that order for Brian Dish's Panthers here today. Schnorr, Sinovic, and Papstein. 3 of them have done a lot of the heavy lifting for this Norfolk offense this year. Shawkowski misses low, including Sinovic, who's been really good for this team so far. Team leader in on-base percentage, .431. The only guy that's better than him in slugging and slugging, I should say, are the guy that's on first base and the guy that's in the on-deck circle, Schnorr and Papstein, as Shawkowski takes something off and finds the inside corner for strike 1.
And Norfolk in a position where they want. They're ahead in the count. Just take things easy and look for your pitch.
Hasn't really been anything to swing at so far. Very early going, first inning. Kick, Schnorr takes off. There is a pitch to swing at. Sinovic can't get to it. And the throw down from the catcher, Carter Renteria, is way late, and it's another stolen base for Jordan Schnorr.
Yeah, take a look at that one again on the Mead Lumber instant replay, and ball just comes in late. Didn't have enough strength on it anyway, but good steal there by Schnorr to get the second.
Hit and run appeared to be on. Sinovic did take a big rip at that pitch in on the hands. First 2-strike count here in this first inning. Look back at second. The pitch falls in there. Strike 3 called. Sinovic could not pull the trigger that time. First out of the game on a punch-out from Shawkowski.
Yeah, hit it on the backwards K as well. Got him looking. That's exactly what you want to see if you're Shawkowski.
How about that? A way to battle back. 5-pitch walk, 2-ball count, and get Sinovic, one of this team's top hitters, looking. That doesn't get much easier. Aiden Papstein has had a great year so far for Norfolk. Shawkowski's first pitch punched up over the screen and out of play. So once again, the lineup: Schnorr, Sinovic, Papstein, Vada, Kelly, Makshantsev, Koenig, Magnuson, and Dish. The starting 9 for head coach Brian Dish and Norfolk, behind starting pitcher Brendan Flood, which we'll tell you about later. Senior righty Spencer Shawkowski back to work. Liner over towards first. Diving out of the glove of Wickham, and it rolls up the right field line. Rounding third is Schnorr. It's bobbled in right field by Connor Cameron, and the first run comes around to score. Walk, steal, and score for Schnorr here in the first inning.
And that gets Norfolk an early 1-0 lead on a play we're going to see once again, and just slips right on through. And Norfolk gets the first run of the day.
Hot shot up that first base line, and a pretty good diving effort at first base by Will Wickham. Hit his glove and then caromed up the first base line. First pitch swinging and fouling it over towards that first base line is Braylon Vada. It rolls into the Norfolk dugout and well out of play. So Papstein comes through once again. Team leader in hits and average. He's now driven in 6 runs this year. 1-0 Panthers. Ooh, that's a late pickoff move by Shawkowski. Watch his right foot, his plant foot, as he throws that on over. An untoward there. Catches the outside part of the plate, strike 2 against Braylon Vada. What a nice re-addition to the lineup he is for Norfolk. They did fairly well without him, especially defensively, and Coach Dish highlighted the work his son Caleb did at shortstop with Vada unavailable. We'll tell you more about Braylon's story as we go along, but certainly a nice re-addition to the lineup. Breaking ball misses a little bit upstairs. It's just the 7th appearance this year for the senior Braylon Vada. It's at the dish right now.
And 1-2 count that allows Shawkowski to adventure a little bit, try to see if he can get Vada to swing on any of them.
Here he comes. gives him a pitch to hit, and Vada sends a pop-up towards shallow left. Racing in and making the catch in shallow left is Zach Nelson. Colin Roush, the shortstop, went back as well. The two discoverers were there trying to navigate their way towards that pop fly, and fortunately for them, they were able to make the play.
Navigators, that's a different high school in Nebraska, but the Discoverers discovered the ball flying through left field.
2 gone in the first. Here's Hayden Kelly. He's had an important role for this team. He's a catcher by trade, has played some outfield as well. After this top 4, Elijah, that is kind of the question mark for me in this game and indeed for the rest of the year for Norfolk. Vada's been good when he's been in there. Those other 3 have been great all year. Papstein takes off. Throw from Renteria sails past the covering second baseman, Quentin Gustafson, but fortunately, Roush is there to back it up. It'll be an easy steal for Papstein's second of this first inning for the Panthers. But after this top 4, the offense gets a little questionable for the Panthers. They haven't been as consistent outside of those top 4 and really outside of their top 3.
All it takes is one good swing of the bat, and that changes very quickly.
It's a swing by Kelly. Pop up first base side. Into foul ground goes Wickham, and he makes the catch as he has his heels touch the new maroon turf on the outskirts. Well, leadoff walk, followed by a stolen base, followed by a single up the first base line, and Norfolk strikes first in this rivalry match. Jordan Schnorr strikes again. 1-0 Panthers with Columbus coming to bat.
The air inside your home can be 2 to 5 times more polluted than outside air. John Henry's priority is keeping your home safe and healthy for you and your family. Cleaning your home's air duct system is an important part of that goal. Our service professionals will clean your air ducts using top-of-the-line equipment that pulls air in reverse through the duct system, while using compressed air and agitation tools to remove unwanted particles. Once the air is discharged, it runs through 3 stages of filtration, leaving your air duct system restored and functioning cleaner than ever. Contact John Henry's today and schedule your steps to a healthier home.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. Central Nebraska Orthopedic, dedicated to the motion of life. And by Southeast Community College. Head to southeast.edu and discover your path to possible.
Need relief from pain or support for recovery? Don't just see anyone, see the trainer. From bracing to home health and rehab products, they provide the right solutions to keep you moving. Whether it's a chronic condition or sudden injury, their expert team will help you find the perfect fit. With a wide range of in-stock orthopedic, sports medicine, or rehabilitation products, See the Trainer is dedicated to improving your quality of life. Visit the professionals at See the Trainer in Columbus, Lincoln, Omaha, Bellevue, and North Platte.
Welcome back to Columbus, bottom of the first inning. It's brought to you by Yankton Medical Clinic. And at Yankton Medical Clinic, Norfolk, we are building a legacy, one patient at a time, one generation at a time. From family practice to expert specialists, we're here for you today and every day. And thank you for being here with us on this Good Friday afternoon. And there's a lot going on. As holiday last weekend, holiday this weekend, and a lot of spring sports for us to cover here on News Channel Nebraska and all of our various arms. So thank you for spending part of this Friday afternoon here with us. The weather this week, and if you're a Nebraska native, it won't be a surprise to you. It's been weird. It was in the 80s where I am, 2 hours to the south of here yesterday, and game time temperature low 50s, cloudy and windy here on this Friday afternoon. So crazy how things can change in 24 hours.
Yeah, we had that cold front whip through yesterday and brought a lot of severe weather into the metro area. But good to have that cleared out, get us some baseball action here today.
No threat of rain, at least not what I've seen. I dare say that out loud. And Brian Dish, Norfolk head coach, telling me the other day, it could be worse. At least we're playing today. So absolutely good start for his team as well, off to an early 1-0 lead, staking senior lefty Brendan Flood to an early edge. Half swing, and yes, there is a swing. Quentin Gustafson is appealing, but I don't think he will get any response from our first base umpire. 1-1 against the leadoff hitting second baseman. A really nice year. Breaking ball from Flood well outside, didn't get it to break enough. Gustafson has not been the featured hitter in this Columbus offense this year, but he was really good when these two teams faced off a month ago, so not a surprise for me to see him in the leadoff spot, exact same place that Jordan Schnorr is on the other side. That pitch from Flood well outside, and he's behind 3-1.
Good place to start off here if you're Gustafson. Now you get to kind of watch this next pitch and take your pick, because you got two of them to either land on first base by walk or hit.
Gustafson is one of only two players who has appeared in every game so far this year for Columbus as he fouls that one off. And he's been a good hitter this year, don't get me wrong, but there's really a top four in this Columbus offense, kind of like we talked about for Norfolk. They've got a top three. Columbus has a top four, and Gustafson is probably that number 4. Certainly has had a good year. Full count on him. Half swing and a pitch on the outside part of the zone, and he fends it off.
And that's one of the things that Gustafson does really well. He can take pitches and he can foul them off and get that contact and keep the at-bat alive.
Flood has been one of this team's go-to pitchers all year. Part of 4 years on varsity, but he misses outside there. And a leadoff walk. Sounds familiar. Exactly how Norfolk started their first inning. See if Columbus can hold serve and answer back.
That would definitely be the question.
Connor Cameron will stand in. Let's get you the starting lineup here for Columbus and head coach John Reed-Miller. They are 5-10. Of course, one of those losses coming to Norfolk in the season opener on March 20th. Today is April the 18th, so almost exactly a month later. Gustafson takes his lead. Flood's pitch a little bit outside. Ball one on Connor Cameron. So Gustafson leads off. He's at second base. This is Cameron batting second and playing right field. Grant Zuha bats third and plays third ahead of Sawyer Kimberling, who cleans up as the designated hitter. Will Wickham bats fifth and plays first. Abbreviated delivery. Flood's pitch grounded over towards second, fielded there by Caleb Dish. Easy does it. Cameron is retired, but Gustafson will move on to second base.
And that is a bright spot there for Columbus. A ground ball that did not turn into a double play. Oftentimes a danger zone, if you will, but you get Gustafson on second with your 3-hole hitter and Zuha coming up.
Ends up being a productive out as well for Columbus. And now Zuha, who's had a tremendous year. He's only played in 12 of their 15 games so far. But when he's been in there, he's top 2 in just about everything on this team. Swing and a miss, strike 1. First, the rest of the lineup. Jack Hollis bats 6th. He's in center field for Columbus. Carter Renteria bats 7th. He's the catcher. Zach Nelson bats 8th. He's in left. And Colin Roush rounds out the starting lineup, batting 9th and playing shortstop. 0-1. Zuha shows bunt, and they say he goes too far. Tried to pull the bunt back, but did not do so in time, and that's strike 2.
That's definitely, definitely interesting tactic with an 0-1 count, a runner on second, nobody out with your 3-hole hitter. But see what Reed-Miller and the Columbus Discoverers have dialed up here for the 0-2.
Got your team leader in OPS bunting on an 0-1 in the first inning. Very interesting. Flood will take a step off and think about things. So let's drive that point home. Again, Zuha's played 12 of 15 games, but he's second on the team in average, first in on-base, first in slugging, and first in OPS at over 1,000 this year. He will swing and push this one foul. 1.022 is the OPS for Zuha. He's the only player on either roster over 1,000. He's the only one safely over 900 for what that's worth.
And I think it could have been a mind game tactic. He wanted to show bunt and come back, but just went into it too far. That could have always been the case, but 0-2 count.
See how he adjusts. Bunt surely off now, to your point. Breaking ball from Flood misses well outside. That's been kind of something, a trend we've seen from Brendan Flood here in this first inning. Again, very early, like we said about Shotkowski, but facing exclusively righties so far. He's missing arm side with his breaking ball.
Mm-hmm. And he's a left-handed pitcher, too, so you're probably going to see a lot of that.
Open stance from the right of the rubber, comes back across the zone and gets a swing and miss. Great adjustment from Flood, and Zuha down on strikes for the second outs.
So now 2 down with Sawyer Kimberling coming up to bat. Runner on second. Down 1. You don't really want to strand a runner, especially with this kind of opportunity down 1.
Such a good adjustment from Flood. Well, spin and a fake pick off to second. Very interesting. Saw him miss that curveball on the previous pitch, the 0-2 well outside. Didn't give Zuha anything to think about. But that curveball broke through the zone. And Zuha swung through it. Great pitch for the K. So here is Sawyer Kimberling, who's had an excellent year so far for Columbus. Lead off second. Pitch from Flood misses inside, and it's out of the glove of Hayden Kelly. Kimberling's the team leader in average and second in OPS. So there weren't too many other players over 900 OPS. Kimberling is the other one. He's at 961 on base plus slugging this year. Second behind Zuha, of course. 1-0 on him. Back into the screen. So once again, the lineup today for Columbus: Gustafson, Cameron, Zuha, Kimberling, Wickham, Hollis, Renteria, Nelson, and Roush. Columbus has mixed up its lineup a little bit more. Norfolk has been pretty consistent, relatively speaking. Might be even more so with Vada back in the mix. 1-1. Into the screen again.
And so now we're going to see Kimberling face that 1-2 count. And there's this nice little gap in that right center field if Kimberling can push it out to the outfield. But if you're looking for a nice ground ball between short and third, there's a nice size gap there too.
Dish is at second, and Vada in his return got back to the lineup on Tuesday for Norfolk. He covers at second base. Gustafson takes his lead. Flood's pitch is cut through. Strike three. Back-to-back swinging strikeouts for the senior Brendan Flood to finish off the first inning. Zuha goes down. Kimberling follows suit, and Columbus strands the tying run at first base. 1-0 Norfolk after one complete.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
A body in motion stays in motion until you feel that muscle tighten, that sharp pain you didn't expect, and suddenly you're stopped in your tracks. KRT helps you get back in action with all natural pain relief in just minutes. Don't get sidelined by muscle cramps. Stay in the game with KRT.
On to the second inning we go. Norfolk gets the leadoff hitter on base, gets him to second base, and gets him home. Columbus does the first two steps of that equation, but can't solve it. And that's the difference in the ballgame through one inning. Alex Makshentsev sends a flare out towards right field, and it plops in front of Connor Cameron. Leadoff single for Makshentsev, the Panther DH, to start off the second inning.
That's a good start. Saw two pitches, and that's all he needed to pop one right in where nobody was, and nice easy single.
This is the part of the Norfolk order, as we told you about in the first inning. They're looking for more consistent contributions from all of these guys. Kelly, Makshentsev, those are everyday guys this year. So is Wes Koenig, who's in the box now. First pitch is fouled away. Maddox Magnuson and Caleb Dish are also everyday guys. So we told you this Norfolk lineup has been very consistent so far this year. 10 guys that have appeared in 13 or more of their 15 games, including 7 in all 15. Koenig's appeared in 14 of the 15. Pitch from Shotkoski across at the knees. Strike two. Fastball well placed. Nothing Koenig could do about that one.
Koenig, a senior, batting over 200. Not too shabby as well, especially in the high school ranks.
No, he's one of the team's leaders in that department, as we're telling you. These two teams, their stats are so similar. Not a surprise that the records are separated by one game, but ERA is similar, fielding percentage somewhat similar. Ground ball by Koenig, charged in at second base by Gustafson. His only play is at first, and he will make the play there. Good hustle by Koenig to try to beat it out. Gustafson makes that play, and Makshantsev gets to second base.
And that was a close play as well with that slow little chopper. Shotkoski didn't really have a chance at it. And so you see that late reaction and squeals on to Gustafson, who can just barely round it up in time to get to Wickham for the out.
You bring up a great point. You saw it well on our replay. Where that ball was hit was right behind the trail runners, the lead runner, as Shotkoski fires in strike one on Maddox Magnuson. Nothing that Makshantsev did wrong. He did everything right. Takes off on contact, but he walks in the way, in the eye lines of the second baseman. That makes that play a little bit more difficult. You got a full body walking through you before you could pick up where the ball is, but he was able to do so to get the out at first.
And now you got Makshantsev on second. And if we remember what happened in the first inning, you had Jordan Schnorr there. All it took was one base hit, and all of a sudden Norfolk had their first run of the day.
No doubt. Shortstop Roush playing deep in the hole. Shotkoski's pitch fouled away. Strike two on Maddox Magnuson. He's been this team's everyday third baseman this year. There's a look at Makshantsev on second base after that leadoff single. He's hitting just 156, and Magnuson is hitting just 189. We're a Norfolk team that is hitting 226 as a squad. 1-2. Soft grounder. It goes into the field of play, but both umpires right on it. Bounces foul before it rolls fair, and Magnuson is walking this off. I think it hit his foot before it ended up in the field of play. We'll see it again. Yes, great look at it right off of the tip of his left cleats. Not fun at all.
Great look on our Beatrice Community Hospital instant replay and our entire team out there. But yeah, right off the toe of his cleat, that's not a great feeling.
Well spotted by our pair of umpires as well. Columbus thought initially that it was foul, then you look down and look, ball's in the field of play. This one's grounded up the third baseline, but well foul this time. No carnage on its way up before it's fielded there by Zuha. Rest of the defense for Columbus looks like this. It's Zach Nelson in left, Jack Hollis in center, Connor Cameron in right, Zuha, Roush, Gustafson, and Wickham third to first. Carter Renteria is behind the plate. He has been for much of the year for the Discoverers. Sawyer Kimberling is the DH. 1-2, grounded sharply over towards short. They will go to third. Tag applied by Zuha out there. Tremendous read by Roush. And that time, Makshantsev once again taking off on contact, but this time he runs right into an out.
And that was a situation where Columbus said, we're not going to let you guys take another opportunity on us. We're just going to go ahead and take out the lead runner.
Really smart defensive play, because that's a ball hit right to the shortstop. Your initial reaction is something that Colin Roush has done 100 times, I'm sure, over the course of his life, is to get the out at first base. It's procedural, it's mechanical, but as the throw over to first base isn't in time on Magnuson, who dives in there. Instead, really smart move by Roush to get that lead runner at third base. Welcome those of you watching on News Channel Nebraska Television. Just underway, second inning here from brand new turf field in Pawnee Park in Columbus, Nebraska. The latest installment of this long-time local rivalry between Columbus and Norfolk. Thanks so much for joining us on this Good Friday afternoon. Tim Hackett and Elijah Moser here with you in the booth, alongside our full crew here on NCN TV. 1-0 Panthers here in the top of the first, and the well-decorated Caleb Dish takes downstairs. True freshman in this Panther lineup. Saw a lot of time at shortstop because of the persisting injury to Braylon Vada. Was actually an injury he picked up over the summer. More on that later. But Dish remains in the lineup and plays second base. Solid offensively, and I was told really good defensively, which merits him sticking in at second base. Is going to get him some more looks, even with Vada sticking around.
All right, Tim, you're not going to call it out. I'm going to call it out. Look at that pencil bat right there for Dish.
I'll call him the eraser.
I have not seen many bats decorated like that, especially at the high school ranks. So that's really cool to see.
Calling that a pencil is a really smart move on your part. That's exactly what that looks like. Unfortunately, he wears number 36, not number 2. That's on the outside edge, strike 2.
That's a good pencil pun right there.
I tried my best. You couldn't see it, but the gears were turning. Trying my best to come up with something really quickly.
Also trying to come up with something here is Shotkoski with his 2-2 count. Probably can go to one of his favorite pitches.
Here's the 2-2. It is a curveball. We've seen that a lot for Shotkoski. Ball breaks across the zone. That one far too much. And a great stop by Renteria behind the plate. Full count on Dish. Magnuson on first with 2 gone in the second. Full count. Soft grounder over towards third. Not an easy play for Zuha. Off his back foot, and he sails it over Wickham at first. Picked up nicely and right by Cameron, and he will walk the ball in, and that prevents Magnuson from potentially coming home. Well, this second inning will continue. We said not an easy play, Elijah, and Zuha not able to make it. Second and third with 2 outs now for the Panthers.
Yeah, we're going to get another look at it. Little bit of a chopper on the ground ball, and Zuha was able to scoop it up, just sailed the throw up high, and now there's runners on second and third. Good news, still just 2 outs, and so Columbus can try and get the third out pretty easily, but now it's dangerous position with the top of the order coming up.
Yep, this top of the order has been really good for Norfolk this year, as we told you about. First pitch a little bit low for Schnorr. Led off the game with a walk, stole second, and then scored on the single by Aiden Papstein. Schnorr has 13 hits and 4 RBI this year. 3 of those hits and 3 of those RBI came against Columbus in the season opener. Fouls this one away. And Coach Brian Dish told me this week, he was he didn't use this word, but he was kind of buried in the lineup, 6th or 7th back at that point in the year, and Columbus wasn't necessarily ready for him to be the difference maker in the game, and he certainly was, but they won't be surprised by him anymore. He's in the leadoff spot and has been in the top 3 of the order pretty much ever since. Real breakout game for him in the season opener of his sophomore campaign. Swing and a miss there. Strike 2, and once again, Shotkoski 1 strike away.
He's ahead of the count once again. Got a couple pitches to work with. You want to keep this one out of harm's way, especially with runners on second and third.
It was a straight error on third baseman Grant Zuha to extend this inning. 2 in scoring position here in the second. Kick and the pitch fouled away by Schnorr to stay alive. 283 hitter, 421 on base, 413 slug. The season stat line for Schnorr and an 834 OPS. That's best on the team. For a guy that doesn't have a home run this year, but he has hit 2 triples. One of those would serve Norfolk very nicely right now. Instead, he sends a ground ball over towards second. Scooped up by Gustafson. Throw to first, plenty of time. Side retired. Well, Shotkoski locks it down, gets some help from his second baseman, and Norfolk strands 2 runners in scoring position, and the Panthers cannot pad the lead. To the bottom of the second, 1-0 Norfolk.
Somebody on your side. We all need a fam, we all need a crew. When you're in a jam, don't know what to do. Just reach out your hand and we'll see you through. Doesn't matter where you're at.
Copy that. Thank you.
We got your back.
With a Medica health plan, you're not just covered, you're cared for.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Currency is here to help. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. And by Heritage at Fountain Point, redefining senior living with a steadfast commitment to comfort, compassion, and dignity. Heritage at Fountain Point in Norfolk, living better.
Did you know that Teammates Mentoring is the largest school-based mentoring program in the nation? But we still need your help. Over 500 students are waiting for a mentor like you. Meeting with a student just once a week in school can make a positive impact on their life by providing a sense of hope and helping them to reach their full potential. So what are you waiting for? Head over to teammates.org today to learn more about how you can get involved. Join the team. Be a mentor.
Welcome back to Columbus for the bottom of the second inning. It's brought to you by John Henry's, our family serving yours. Norfolk threatens but cannot score. First pitch swinging here in the bottom of the first. Will Wickham grounds it sharply up the third base line. That was close. Third base coach from Columbus saying fair ball. Home plate umpire saying foul ball. And at this point, that's the person whose judgment matters more.
Yeah, that's Columbus head coach John Reedmiller on that third base line. Wanted that one to be fair. Umpire called it. And that's a bang-bang call, too.
No doubt. Good pitch from Flood. Fastball with a little bit of heat, but misses well downstairs. Ball one on Wickham. First baseman today. He's been at the heat of the action so far defensively for Columbus. Good diving effort on the ball hit by Aiden Papstein. Off his glove, was not able to keep it in fair territory. Or keep it in front of him, I should say, as Flood misses just outside with that curve. And that was what allowed the first and heretofore only run of the game to score. Good look at the pitcher, Brendan Flood, who's spent part of 4 years on varsity. He's been one of this team's top starters this year. Ground ball softly hit towards short, Raylan Vada. And he looks fine on that one. Nicely done. A little bit of a low throw, but scooped there by Koenig. One up and out here in the second inning. Rest of the defense here for Norfolk looks like this. Aiden Papstein is in left field. Ethan Sinovic in center. Jordan Schnorr in right. We told you that is a pretty common alignment for them this year. None of them have had any work so far, though. Maddox Magnuson at third. Vada at short. Dish at second. Koenig at first. Aiden Kelly is behind the plate once again with Alex Mekshantsev serving as the designated hitter. Left on left, Flood's first pitch misses inside against Jack Hollis. What's interesting about this Columbus lineup here, Elijah, just looking at as it's presented, we told you the top four are the top four hitters for Norfolk this year. They're batting 1 through 4 in the lineup in terms of average, on base, everything. Hollis sprays this one out of play, strike one. Columbus also has a top 4 this year, but they're spreading those guys out a little bit more in the lineup, comparatively speaking. I mean, Hollis has had a strong year, 308 average, 451 on base. He's one of only 2 guys that have started in every game so far, or at least appeared in every game so far this year, and he's in the 6 hole.
And sometimes you just want to spread things out a little bit, and sometimes you want some of your older guys to be in your leadoff positions,
Sure.
And so a lot of balancing that goes into putting a lineup together.
There's really a full calculus to it as Hollis sprays this one out in towards left field. Charging Papstein in and will bounce in front of him for a hit. Hollis rounds first. He's going to second. Head first dive. Good throw. Not in time. A double for Jack Hollis. First hit of the afternoon for Columbus and the tying run on second base.
And that's a nice hit. I honestly thought that Papstein was probably going to have a play at the ball, but he decided to take it the cautious route, not let it get behind him, and just let it take the hop. And Hollis is fast, and he got all the way to second.
100% with you. Based on how that ball was hit, I figured it was going to hang up for the Norfolk left fielder to at least make a play. It ended up a few feet to his right. And Hollis, great heads-up base running, head first dive into second base, and needed that dive because Papstein made a really good throw. First pitch swing and a miss by Carter Renteria. And here is the part of the lineup that Columbus needs to help pick things up.
With one out, you're just really looking to move the Hollis over to third.
Renteria is capable of that. He will push this one out of play. Strike 2 on the Columbus catcher. Carter's hitting .074 so far this year, 2 of his first 27. Does have a 2-19 on base. 5 walks against 7 Ks, so decent on base despite a batting average of south of 100.
While there is no 2 count now, something that you might have thought about a little bit earlier is to try and bunt Renteria to move Hollis over to third. And that obviously would put you at 2 outs, but obviously that's also out of the pitcher now.
Blood from the stretch fires home and fouled away again by Renteria. So you got Renteria with 2 hits on the year. Zach Nelson on deck. He's got 2 hits on the year. And then Roush would be up next. He's got 4 hits on the year. So who's coming up to try to potentially force in this tying run for the Discoverers here in the second. And Flood's pitch, ground ball up the middle. Tough play. That sneaks. No, it's snagged by Dish. Throw to first, evades Koenig, and bounces into the screen in front of the Norfolk dugout. The tying run does come in to score. After that double by Hollis, a weak dribbler by Renteria. Stopped by Caleb Dish, but his throw is wayward, and the tying run comes in.
And that's definitely one where it looks like it would have been the end of the inning if not for the error. And I'll take another look at that instant replay before I decide whether that's on the second baseman or the first baseman.
Man.
I think, judging by that replay, the second baseman threw it too far to the right of the first baseman, and so I rule that as an 8-4.
Allows the tying run to score, and Renteria gets to second base on the play. Showing bunt, Zach Nelson. Exactly what you were talking about on the previous AB, Elijah. Nelson bunting for a hit really there, at least bunting to make things difficult, but not able to keep it in play.
And he went for that nice little squeeze bunt down that first base line. Obviously would give him a little bit more of a chance to land at first safely. See if he goes back to it again this time, or if now the bunting situation is off and it's swing away.
This has been a problem for Norfolk this year. They've had leads a lot, very early in this game, obviously, but they've had leads late a lot. And they've let it slip away. They haven't had consistent enough pitching from their relievers and consistent enough defense across the diamond. Their team fielding percentage is just below 900 this year, which is not very good. They've committed a lot more errors than they can weather, and that error proves very costly. To your point, I thought it was going to dribble up the middle. I was saying Columbus needs a clutch hit from the bottom third. I thought Renteria was about to deliver one, but Dish somehow got to it to make the stop. Had he just held on to it, it would have been first and third with one out. So he tried to make the play, nearly threw Renteria out, but threw it away. And a 2-base hit followed by a 2-base error to score the first run for Columbus.
It's one of those, if you hold it, you kind of think back like, what if I would have thrown the ball? And now you look back at it and it's like, well, if you would have just held on to the ball, it's a lose-lose situation.
Absolutely.
Sometimes whenever it plays out that way.
2-1 on Nelson. That's way downstairs and stopped by Hayden Kelly. You summed it up very well. I mean, it is a lose-lose in that situation because you're trying to make something happen and get the out, which in theory is better than not doing anything because you're going to get your team your second out. But in so doing, ended up making things worse. Hard to blame him for that idea.
And now you got to not let it snowball. Oh, bunting on the 3-1, and that's going to work out perfectly.
Keeps it in play. Kelly's throw. That pulls Koenig away from the bag, and nobody's home. Schnorr's going to have to roll in to get it, and the go-ahead run scores for Columbus. Really good bunt laid down by Zach Nelson, and the throw from Hayden Kelly gave his first baseman no chance. Columbus has the lead.
See, and the guys in the press box might disagree with me on that one, but I would rule that as a single, and the run scored on the error. And so Columbus takes a 2-1 lead. And now you look even further about if we could have just gotten that third out. They're this close, too.
I think it's well scored by you. Again, where that bunt was placed by Nelson, we see a mound visit here with Brian Dish Company and Brandon Flood in the entire infield. Yeah, they try to navigate getting through the second inning.
Yeah, the first time on that bunt, Nelson trying to squeeze it down that first base line. That last time when he got that hit, he changed it up. He squeezed it up the middle and put it in that tough position. Whether does the pitcher go get it? Does the catcher go get it? And you just got to talk through these things, and the throw is just slightly off.
true no man's land. We got a great look at it on this brand new turf here in Columbus. Placed perfectly by Nelson. Again, had Kelly just held on to it, it would have been first and third with one out. That's an even tougher situation, I think, Elijah, because I don't think you're ever, as that catcher, he got to it and hustled to do so. I don't think you're ever going to initially think, well, I should just hold on to this and live to see another day. But again, in so doing, ended up forcing a run in.
And there's still only one out here in the second.
Fly ball hit by Colin Roush out towards left center. Not an easy play. It plops between a pair of defenders. The throw to second, and safe there is Nelson. Good heads-up throw again by Papstein. Second time this inning that he's tried to throw out a runner at second base. Second time he's been close. But Columbus has everybody safe, and this inning will continue.
And that hit had a little bit of help from the wind itself. That wind is pushing from left field to right. And the left fielder, Papstein, tried to get underneath it. It swung back over and to no man's land between the left fielder, center fielder, and the shortstop.
And Nelson had to wait to see if it would be caught by anybody. Shortstop Vada and left fielder Papstein were both close. Ended up plopping between them, and then Nelson realized, oh, man, I got to get up to second base. Did so just in time. So 2 on, still only 1 out here in this second inning. Third hit of the frame after Flood got through the first inning without allowing a hit. Now the top of the order in Quentin Gustafson. Flood's pitch, that's on the outside edge. 1-1 on the Columbus second baseman.
And Tim, you talked about it earlier about how the first 4 are the hitters for this Columbus lineup and how they spread out like some of their top batters. And you've seen 3 hits out of the last 4 at-bats.
Very good point. We said the bottom of this lineup needed to come through. A little bit unconventionally, but they do so. Slicer over towards first, snared by Koenig, and he steps on the bag to retire the side. Well, a rocky defensive inning for Norfolk. That was a gem dug up by Koenig to finish things off. Unassisted double play turned by the first baseman. Gustafson retired, Roush forced out at first, and this inning is over. But Columbus scores 2 runs on 3 hits with a couple of errors, and they've got the lead after 2.
Liberty First Credit Union. It's for you. You live in Nebraska or the surrounding states? Then it's for you. Want to earn cash back on your transactions? Then it's for you. Are you ready to start banking with purpose? Then Liberty First Credit Union? It's for you. We're not your typical credit union. We support you with personalized banking that's open to everyone. Start banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union. We're for you.
Fields, farms, communities. That's Farmers' Pride. Our purpose is simple. We help farmers feed the world. We bring value to our communities by investing in what matters to people. Because we are from here, work here, and live here. We believe in cooperatives, locally owned, locally operated, and locally controlled. In the field, on your farm, in your community. That's Farmers' Pride.
Well, a hectic second inning ends up in a brilliant gem at first base by Koenig, putting out a potential fire, but Columbus does take the lead on their home floor, their home turf. And they've got a 2-1 edge as we move to the third. Happy to have you with us here on NCN. For the first time, Spencer Shotkoski will pitch with a lead. He'll face 2, 3, 4 in the Norfolk order. First pitch swinging. Sinovic sends a deep drive out towards right. Back on it, Cameron. It's gone. And so is that Columbus lead. First pitch of the third inning. And Ethan Sinovic drills it to right field.
We mentioned that the wind was pushing left to right. And it absolutely sent it. And that one looked good right off the bat, and there was nothing anyone could do. Just fastball down the middle, right to right.
Neither of these teams have hit a ton of home runs. They both hit 2. Columbus has given up 2. Norfolk hasn't allowed any to this point of the year, which is kind of a surprise. And there's the long ball. No doubt about that one, as you said. First of the season for senior Ethan Sinovic. That was crushed. That's got to be a bit of a gut punch. maybe just a body blow for Columbus after all the work they had to do. Had some help with the defensive miscues, if not full-on errors, but they had to build that 2-run frame. And Norfolk, they talk about a response. Ground ball hit by Papstein. That's one of Brian Dish's keys. Look, we're going to give up runs. When we do, we need to respond. How about that as a response?
It's definitely one that you look at as Norfolk. They gave away a couple of runs. There's no other way to say it. And now you get that response, and now you can go and say, okay, that happened. New game.
Brand new game now because of that leadoff jack. And that's kind of the mindset, like we told you about with Coach Dish talking with me this week. Those are the words that he used. We need to have the right response. We need to have the right attitude, the mindset, if you will. And the phrase that he used, he said he borrowed it from Nebraska head coach Will Bolts, but stay in the fight, knowing that this is a shorter game here than they play in Lincoln, right? They play 9 innings there. We're expecting only 7 here today. But you have to keep in that fight regardless of what the game script looks like. Winning, losing, or tied, stay in the fight. Shakowski does that right there, gets Papstein to swing through that breaking ball for the first punch out of the third.
And the key word is we're going to try for 7 innings.
No kidding.
We know your track record.
I won't outright comment on that because that would, I think, jinx things. All I can say is I've been a part of a lot of fun baseball games so far here this year. My first year in Nebraska and with NCN, and seen a lot of good ones so far. You guys, if you were watching on NCN on Wednesday, you got to see the championship of the Heartland Conference Tournament, which these two teams are in. They weren't in that game, obviously, but they were in that tournament, which started on Tuesday in Lincoln. Both of these teams went 1-1. We're not playing in that championship game.
Lincoln East, very solid team, obviously. And then you also got Lincoln Southwest that played for the championship. Lincoln East just once again showed why they are the best team in the HAC year after year. And they'll be competing in Lincoln more than likely for that state title later on this year.
I was impressed by what I saw from Southeast. That was the team that Columbus lost to earlier this week. But then, yeah, they were no match in that championship game, which just goes to show you how things work out sometimes.
Excuse me, Omaha. I got my championship locations wrong.
Could have fooled me. Nobody on, one out for Braylon Vada, who finds himself ahead 3-1. Vada returned for the conference tournament earlier this week. Jakowski's pitch, that slides in there. Vada was ready for ball 4. Somehow eclipsed the inside part of the zone. The count is full. He started the season opener against Columbus a month ago. Played a couple of games after that, but then re-aggravated an injury that he sustained last summer and missed about a half dozen games. Grounds this one over towards short. It's under the glove of Roush. It just rolled past his shortstop counterpart and into left field. Second error of the afternoon against Columbus.
Yeah, let's take another look at that one, especially if I can get a look at Roush at set shortstop. Here we go. Looking at the replay. He just didn't get low enough.
It's a slow roller. I mean, you kind of saw based on Vada's body language after the ball was hit, you thought it was a sure out. And he ended up, it's not like he walked it by any means. He ended up moving up towards first base. And Roush tried to make that backhand scoop. Now, these guys have played and I'm sure practiced on this field at least some of the year, if not the whole year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it is still a new playing surface for all of these guys, especially for Norfolk, obviously, who's never played here before. But it's still a relatively new thing for the Columbus defense as well. Vada takes off, throw bounces away. It kind of pinballs off the turf. Feels like we're in a tennis video game or something, and it pops into center field. So no chance for Renteria, and good hustle the whole way that time by Vada. I think he would have beat it even with an on-target throw.
Third stolen base of the afternoon for Norfolk. But just to go back to your point, I think with the way that Class A works right now, you got a lot of teams with turf fields. So transitioning from that dirt and grass to turf isn't too big of a change. You just get more games on turf. I think the bigger difference today is the amount of wind that we are seeing. It's consistently blowing 25 to 30 miles per hour. Just looking at the flag, that's just a guess of mine. But you got that wind and you got the hops, and it's just throwing everybody off.
playing on turf versus not makes a big difference. And I'm sure it's even more prominent now than it was as Shotkoski gets strike one here on Hayden Kelly. Flashing back to when I was a broadcaster in the Northwoods League in 2017, our third baseman played at Oklahoma, and he was telling me when we were going to a field that did have turf, we were at a field that didn't the night before, and he was telling me there's a huge difference even if you are used to it. Breaking ball cut through, strike two. And ironically, he was at third. We always play 2-game series, and he was at third the second game of that series, and there was a ball that hopped over the third baseman's glove, and he had no idea how to field it. It was hit right to him, but it just caught a patch in the turf and went right past him. And I talked to him afterwards, and he said, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Breaking ball into the screen. Kelly stays alive. So my point of that is that it is an adjustment, even if you are used to playing on turf like he was playing at Oklahoma, everything's still a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned Northwoods. Like, where were you at?
I was in Wausau, Wisconsin.
Wausau, okay.
North Central Wisconsin. Beautiful place.
I know someone who spent a year up in Duluth. Over there, yeah.
One of my friends was there, too. Full count on Kelly, swing and a miss. Strike three. Great breaking ball from Shotkoski. He's relied on that heavily so far in this contest. Second punch out of the frame, third of the afternoon.
Good outing for Shotkoski. He's really rebounded after a slow start to the game, and here we go with 2 outs. Runner on second.
58 pitches is the count we were just told as we play the third inning. 2-2 ball game. His pitch count is in pretty good shape as well. Ground ball over towards third, sharply hit. Zuha fields it at the waist all the way across the diamond. He retires Mekshantsev. Very nicely done at third base from Zuha. Committed an error earlier, not this time. Nicely done. Well, Norfolk wastes no time. They tie the game with a leadoff bomb by Ethan Sinovic. But Shotkoski locks it down from there. Go-ahead run stranded on second. To the bottom of the third, all square at 2.
Women have a 1 in 8 chance for developing breast cancer. Early detection makes a difference. Beatrice Community Hospital's Imaging Center can help with the latest technology, from screening with 3D mammography, breast MRI, breast ultrasound, and breast biopsy. All services conveniently located in the BCH's Imaging Center. Schedule your screening today. Incredible care, incredibly close.
Anything for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more. From little feet to little paws, to updates and overhauls. From soft and cozy to durable and resilient. From something that blends in or something that's different. From DIY to custom install, O Street Carpet can help you with it all. Whatever your needs are for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more.
Bottom of the third inning, brand new ball game. 2 runs on 3 hits for Columbus, 2 runs on 3 hits so far for Norfolk, and very early stages so far, Elijah, but we expected this to be a close competitive game, and so far that's exactly what we've got.
And we get 2 through 4 in the Columbus lineup as well, so the heart of the soul for Columbus batting-wise, and they're going to have to rebound from their first inning appearance, 2 strikeouts and a ground out. So see what happens here in the top of the third.
No doubt.
Bottom of the third.
Doyle, your Flood did extremely well against this trio in that first inning. After the leadoff walk, retired these 3 in order with those 2 strikeouts, like you said. It's been a really solid season for the lefty Brendan Flood to this point of the year. One and one on Cameron. Flared out towards right field. Jordan Schnorr will track, and he locks it in and retires his opposite right fielder for the first out of the third inning. And the third inning is brought to you by Husker Rehab. Husker Rehab, treating the cause of your pain, not just the symptoms. One away quickly for Flood. Really had to work through that second inning. He's now at 40 pitches as we play the third. The good news for Norfolk, we'll talk about this as we go along, and you know this about me even already, Elijah. I love how the pitching lineup, if you will, works for both teams, how teams line up their starters. Curveball in for strike one on Zuha. How teams manage their bullpen, and especially here in this state at the high school level, knowing there is a pitch count. At some point, there is a limit to how much any pitcher can go. Slicing ground ball over towards third field by Magnuson, and an easy play. Nicely done. Slicer hit by Zuha. And Columbus's top hitter is 0 for 2. So with that in mind, Brendan Flood hasn't pitched all week. He hasn't thrown since last Friday, and now that we are here fully on into April, that pitch count has been expanded compared to what it was when these two teams faced off a month ago. So starters can throw 110 pitches. That's their maximum. Not sure we will see either of these guys do that today. But point is, Flood hasn't pitched all week, hasn't thrown since last Friday, so he is as rested as he is going to be, and he's more than capable of giving this Norfolk team some length.
And especially for Norfolk not having a game up until Tuesday, they can feel free to have a little bit more of reins for Flood. For Columbus with Shatkowski, they got a game again tomorrow. You've already burned his day tomorrow, but as far as other pitchers in your bullpen, you're looking at that too.
Thanks. That's exactly where I was going next. That is a consideration for Columbus, and it's just kind of the difference in how all these teams manage things. Norfolk has played 3 games already this week. They played on Monday and then the 2 games in the conference tournament. Columbus only had the 2 games on Tuesday, but like Elijah said, they do have a game tomorrow, so that is something that you have to manage. So, of course, you want Shatkowski to go as long as he can, so you don't have to use a ton of guys behind him, so they, in theory, could also be available tomorrow if needed.
Baseball, it's a strategy sport, especially when you got pitch limits.
And Norfolk doesn't have that to consider as well. Breaking ball a little bit low. You saw the infield at the top of your screen. Braylon Vada starting to walk towards the Norfolk dugout on the first base side. Instead, Flood is going to have to do this again. Struck out Kimberling in the first inning, and that breaking ball also misses low. Norfolk thought it was strike 3 on 2 different occasions, but instead, Sawyer Kimberling draws the 2-out walk, and this third inning will continue.
And Norfolk's got to be careful about, that one came in down low. And so you want to be careful here for Norfolk to just get this third out, not let it snowball like it did last inning.
Pretty good look from that first base camera side by our NCN crew. That pitch was nowhere near. Well beneath the zone. The previous one was a whole lot closer, admittedly, but that one on 3-2 was nowhere near.
Yeah, as that pitch is fouled off, I just want to mention, while you're talking about the camera crew that we got here today, all 3 of them Columbus High students.
All right. That's awesome.
Enjoying their day off behind the camera, so good to see them out here helping us out.
Many thanks to everybody for being a part of this crew here this afternoon. We said it was a holiday last weekend, holiday this weekend, so there's always things going on. So grateful for, A, the opportunity to be here, B, for all of you for watching, and C, for everybody else who's helping put this thing together on this Friday afternoon.
We had all 3 of our live event directors in the truck, Connor Luby, Danny Alvarado, Paul Hires, and so really great to have all of their expertise in the truck. They're probably making a lot of jokes over what we're saying, but always great to have them on board.
It's a full week for them as well, because they had the NCN crew had the Heartland Tournament Championship game on Wednesday. A lot of these guys were at the Omaha Supernovas game last night, professional volleyball, and here this afternoon. So 3 games in 3 days for a lot of these folks. Backhand flip by Caleb Dish. There's some of that defensive work that he has turned in all year. Smoothly done, forcing out Kimberling going to second. Wickham hits into the fielder's choice. That's a pretty routine third inning for the 4-year varsity player, Brendan Flood. Done with 3, 2-2.
So I was a former smoker. My breathing got really bad. My family finally insisted I go to a pulmonologist. And that's when they did tests and diagnosed me with COPD and asthma. Because there's nothing worse than not being able to breathe. And they helped me tremendously. They've helped me get my lung function back. With the help of Faith Regional, I've become a lung hero.
For over 40 years, Claybaugh Pharmacy has been your trusted, family-owned, full-service pharmacy
We provide traditional medical options, medical equipment, immunizations, and over-the-counter products. We take pride in going above and beyond to improve the health of our community. And to ensure you have a seamless experience, manage your profile and refills with a touch of the finger from home. Claybaugh Pharmacy in downtown Beatrice, your hometown family-owned pharmacy.
Well, by this point in the season, teams have an understanding of who their go-to pitchers will be. There are always some folks that can make surprises and can make some impacts in different roles, but for these two guys that we've seen on the hill so far this afternoon, two seniors, two guys have been doing this for a couple of years for their respective squads. Two guys who are off to solid starts. 2 runs on 3 hits for Columbus through 3, 2 runs on 3 hits for Norfolk through 3. We go to the 4th, all square at 2 apiece. Happy to have you with us. Right-hander Spencer Shotkoski starts off the 4th inning with a strike on Wes Koenig. He'll face the bottom 3 in the Panther order here in the 4th. 5th total appearance of the season for the senior right-hander Shotkoski. Breaking ball cut through by Koenig, strike 2. What's interesting is that neither of these teams have a ton of two-way guys. Most of their guys will pitch and hit, but they don't have a ton of guys compared to some other schools that we've seen on NCN this year. Cut through, strike 3. And Shotkoski disposes of Koenig on 3 pitches. Shotkoski has hit a fair bit this year for Columbus, but he's also number 2 in innings pitched. You get a little look at his expertise. Disposes of Koenig very quickly.
And that was just absolutely lethal. 4th strikeout of the afternoon for Shotkoski. Keeps his pitch count down low, which is also crucial, like we talked about in the bottom of the 3rd. And we do have some action in the Norfolk bullpen, too.
Good look at Aiden Papstein, who will get a break as he's not due to hit for a while in this inning. He is one of their regular relievers, one of their leaders in appearances. So, right, as I'm saying, these teams don't have a ton of two-way guys. Papstein's one of their featured hitters and one of their go-to relievers. But a lot of other schools we have seen this year, as that's a strike at the knees against Maddox Magnuson. What I was saying, what I mean by these guys don't have two-way guys is that a lot of other teams we've seen are top starters and also featured hitters. Both of these teams have 1 or 2 guys that fit that bill, but mostly for these two squads, if they pitch, they only hit infrequently, and if they hit, they only pitch infrequently. Ethan Sinovic is an exception to that rule, for one example, and Brendan Flood has hit this year as well for Norfolk, but he's primarily a pitcher. Fouled away by Magnuson, who's also a two-way player, but he's only made 2 appearances as a pitcher at the varsity level. So I kind of like that. It gives guys more of an opportunity to specialize, but I do love the two-way player. It's one of my favorite things about both baseball and softball. See somebody excel in all different areas of this sport. Really difficult sport, regardless of what you're doing. Swing and a miss. That tied Magnuson up, and Shotkoski has looked strong here in this 4th inning.
2 straight strikeouts for Shotkoski, get the first 2 outs of the inning. And you're talking about those two-way players, and probably the most prominent one to come to the top of the mind if we were to go to the softball diamond in Jordy Ball.
Sure. She's a prime example of what I'm talking about. It is difficult to hit well. It's difficult to pitch well. And when you can do both as well as somebody like she can, that is extremely impressive. Action beginning in the Columbus bullpen. That's Dayton Snyder, one of their top innings pitch guys out of the pen. Figured we could potentially see him. He did not pitch at all on Tuesday.
And with both these bullpens warming up, that's very interesting. I think Flood has had a good day so far, and so maybe we'll get one more. Maybe he's done after this inning. And then for Shotkoski, he's really hot right now. You're probably going to want to extend his leash if you're thinking about taking him out.
Soft poke over towards third off the bat of Dish. Zuhas throw across the diamond, side retired. First 1-2-3 inning for Spencer Shotkoski, and he's retired 5 in a row, retired 6 of 7 after that game-tying solo home run. We'll see if that does give him another inning. He's been very, very good today, one of his best outings so far this year. We're halfway home, tied at 2 apiece.
At TC Amish Home, we want to help you live better, longer, with a complete selection of health-focused power chairs from Ultra Comfort. Ultra Comfort features zero-gravity positioning, giving you that weightless feeling and increasing your circulation. Elevate your feet, release tension, reduce swelling, and maximize blood flow. They are fully programmable to your customized settings. With the softest, easy-to-clean fabrics, the entire family is able to enjoy the benefits of your new Ultra Comfort power chair. Live better, longer with Ultra Comfort at TC Amish Home in Norfolk.
Bottom of the 4th inning here in Columbus. We remain all square at 2 apiece. 4th inning is brought to you by Visit Kearney, proudly presented, in fact, by Visit Kearney. Find it all in Kearney. Not too far away from Kearney, a place I know you spent a lot of time, Elijah. We're in Columbus, north central Nebraska, not too far away from the capital city.
Yeah, I was just there last night, there this morning. Go to school there, not too bad. You can definitely find it all in Kearney. We'll even talk about the Sportsplex probably a little bit later. I don't know if Connor wants us to talk about it now, but we'll find some time to talk about it. Just recently opened, but Kearney definitely has a little bit of everything, shopping, restaurants, parks. You can definitely find it all.
Jack Hollis walks up to the original Careless Whisper by Wham and cranks this one into right field. Nothing careless about that. Plops it into the right field corner. Hollis round second. He's on his way to third. Late throw. Here's the relay. It's on its way. It skips away from the third baseman, Magnuson. And it's a leadoff triple for Jack Hollis. 2 extra base hits this afternoon, and Columbus has the go-ahead run on third base.
Sure, let's give him the triple on that and get that instant replay brought to you by Madison County Bank now. Deep into right field, and let's look at Hollis round. I didn't think he was going to make it in time, but he pushed it. And he probably would have been out if Magnuson would have been able to catch it.
I'm with you. So it might be a double and an error after all of that. Will be a triple to lead off the inning.
We'll be friendly.
Either way, clearly second extra base hit for him. And I was just about to say, as he stayed in, he's got the biggest hit of the game for Columbus. At double with 1 out in the second, came around to score their first run. And now he's got a triple with nobody out here in the 4th with the game tied. Carter Renteria stands in, swings and misses at that curveball from Brendan Flood.
And Renteria got on base last time based on from the error from Dish. And so we'll see what happens this time around.
5th total appearance of this season for Brendan Flood. As we told you, he's appeared on varsity every year. And he's been at Norfolk, one of their go-to starters this year. Tried to set up a chase pitch. Renteria did not offer. 18 1/3 total innings for Flood. 0-2 record, 5.35 ERA. Coach Dish told me this week, it's his turn. Got to watch everybody else pitch earlier this week. Michelson, Sinovic, and Magnuson, the 3 starters, and now it's Flood's turn. And he gets Renteria to foul tip that one. Fastball on the outside edge. Did not get the swing and miss on the previous pitch. Does on that one.
That's his 3rd strikeout of the day, too. One that was needed. Gets the first out. And you still got to come from behind with that runner on 3rd. And remember, Nelson coming up to bat. He was the one who laid down that squeeze and got the hit from it as well last time up.
Very well pointed out by you, and look where the infield is ready for that. He will drop it down. Charging in Koenig's picked up by Flood. Nobody's covering first base. Nelson pulls it off again. A triple converted. Nelson drops down the bunt for the second time, and Columbus takes the lead. It's 3-2 in the 4th.
Zach Nelson, the bunt specialist, drops it down, uses his speed, and he drops it perfectly in the second inning and in the fourth, and Columbus retakes the lead.
Just expertly done by Nelson. We saw the corner infielder starting to come in. Koenig and Flood were both there, but by the time they got to the ball, late time has been called. I think they're going to give him a balk. Yes, it will be a balk against Brendan Flood, and Nelson will be awarded second base.
I'm going to keep my eye on the monitor here in case we get another look at that. Balk's always really hard to identify.
Yes.
That's why the umpires are really experienced at that.
Completely agree. We'll get a look at it here in a second. Runner on second base. Fly ball well out of play by Colin Roush.
Nothing looked too out of ordinary before, when out of what we saw there.
Good look at it. You saw a good look at the back leg of Brendan Flood. I'm with you. I didn't see much there. And even if you've been around the sport for a while, as I'm privileged enough to be, those are very difficult to identify, I found. Breaking ball, punched up towards fair territory, or in play, I should say, nowhere near fair territory. And Koenig has no plays. He goes into a feet-first slide. The ball ends up bouncing over his own dugout and out of play. Strike two on Colin Roush, who singled in that second inning. The third of their three hits, helping Columbus score two in that frame. They've now scored one here in the fourth. Double and a run scored, and a triple and a run scored today for Jack Hollis out of the sixth spot. And two hits and a run scored when these two teams faced off last month as well. Roush awaits, look back at second. Flood's pitch well upstairs. It's been a solid year for the lefty Brendan Flood. He's had two good starts that weren't amazing, but two very good starts, and two starts that weren't great but weren't awful. So, and he has the ability to give this team some length, so not a surprise to see him here in the fourth. 71 pitches for him as we play this fourth inning, so he's close to the end of his line right now as Roush fouls that one away. So he's really had to work the last couple of innings as well.
And
63, my mistake.
And that's a credit to the Columbus batters, too. They've been fouling off a lot of pitches, really making Flood work.
Only had 38 through two. He hasn't even thrown the next two, and he's already thrown 25 to get the last four outs. So even with that amendment, he is close to the end of his line, you would think. Norfolk would love for him to get him through the fourth. Pitch a little bit downstairs, and it's something that Brennan has done consistently so far this year. And last week, again, his last appearance last Friday against Adams Central, he threw the complete game. They only needed 6 innings. They lost 3-1, but he threw all 6. It's a really solid start, a quality start. Second of the year in that department for Brendan Flood, but he did take the loss, his second of the year. Right now he's on the hook. Columbus looking to add more as he bluffs the throw. Not a big strikeout guy, as we've shown you. He's got 3 today, 13 on the year, now 16 against 8 walks. Roush taps the helmet. He will take a quick step back as Flood is very aware of Zach Nelson. Has to be after what he's flashed so far at the plate this game. And now the lefty's ready. 2-2 on Roush. Fastball misses low, and Kelly with a good block. Top of the order looms. You know what Gustafson has been able to do so far this year.
And that's exactly what I've been talking about here lately. The Columbus batters are just so patient inside the box, waiting for their pitch. They've been extending their at-bats.
Roush has certainly done a good job of that there. Full count here. Soft fly out towards shallow left. That one will find the glove of a Panther. Saw a couple of drop in front of Aiden Papstein in this game, despite his best efforts. That time he's able to get behind it and make the catch. So critical second out here for Flood and Norfolk. Here's the top of the order in Quentin Gustafson. Nelson remains on second. Gustafson hitting a flat 300. Again, he's one of 2 players that has appeared in all 15 games, now 16 games for Columbus this year. Hollis is the other.
And he's 0 for 1 on the day, too. Walked in the first inning, lined out in the second.
And into that inning-ending double play in that second inning. Slamming the door on a potential even bigger frame.
And honestly, on that play, a lot of times you might see that rip through for a double, too. So it was just a fantastic play by Koenig.
No doubt. Certainly one to mark if Norfolk's able to come back and win this game. They will have to come back. They did that multiple times when these two teams faced off a month ago. Ended up winning that game. Call on the outside part of the zone. Strike one against Gustafson there.
And that was an 8-5 game as well. So a little bit lower scoring here so far, but you never know. It might just explode.
That game did kind of explode late. It was 5-5 going into the sixth. And Norfolk scored 3 there to make the difference. 3-2 Columbus here on the edge of the plate, and Gustafson sprays that over our first base camera operator and out of play. Well over their head. Good to see. Gustafson stays alive. We told you he was great when these two teams faced off a month ago. 3 of 4 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. He has scored 9 so far this season. Flat 300 hitter, 429 on base, 350 slug. Both of these teams have on base percentages that are significantly higher than their team slugging percentages. We told you there was 4 combined home runs hit by these two teams. Wasn't sure we would see one today, so of course, what does Ethan Sinovic do? Hits that laser beam of a solo home run earlier.
And I think that was only like the second home run I've ever seen here, too.
Really? So it doesn't happen in this park very often.
Or I just don't go here whenever they do happen.
I knew you were coming.
One of those two.
We got to show them what we can do. So that was, of course, Norfolk that hit the home run. It is possible to hit a home run here, as we've proved. It's 310 up the right field line and 325 up the left field line, 345 to dead center. And that one to right field was a no-doubter by Sinovic.
Not quite like Duncan Field and Hastings.
Ground ball up the middle. This is not an easy play. Dish gets to it. Backhand scoop throw to first. Not in time. Now the throw home. Tag there and safe at home is Nelson. Norfolk again is starting to move to the dugout, and now Gustafson will take second. Things coming apart here for the Panthers in this fourth inning. They very nearly had the out at first, very nearly had the out at home, did not get the out on either occasion, and Columbus tacks on another one to make it 4-2.
Very smart base running both sides. We're going to watch it again on the Madison County Bank instant replay. Slow hop, and now here comes the play at home. And that's a very close play, especially from that angle. That is really hard to tell, but then the umpire never called time, and Gustafson just took off for second.
That is not something I think I've really ever seen. That ball is still live, as you just hinted at. Fun day to be an official scorer in situations like that.
Well, that's just a single, so not too hard to rule that one.
There's a lot to that. There's a lot to that
Yes.
play.
Yes, if you're ruling the numbers of where the ball traveled, yes, that's a little bit more tricky. But if you're just ruling the singles and the airs, woofda.
Well, yeah, exactly. No RBI for Gustafson, as that should have been a fielder's choice. Should have been the third out of the inning if Norfolk got a call at either first or home, but they did not. Again, from that replay, looked pretty close. And Kelly, the catcher, protesting immediately. Thought he got the glove on Nelson as he slid in, but man, great day for Zach Nelson. 2 singles and a run driven in and a run scored out of the 8 spots. And now Connor Cameron, the 2-hole hitter for Columbus. Takes well outside. Again, tough for a pitcher of any kind. But you got to strap back in and get this third out. You were very close to doing so. And now you got to lock in and do it now before you face Zuha and Kimberling. Cameron's a .293 hitter, so he's been very solid this year for Columbus, but those two guys have been the Discoverers' best. Curveball a little bit inside, so you can't afford to face Zuha and Kimberling here with 2 on in this fourth inning.
And this could be one of the final pitches for Flood on the day, as I got to imagine his leash is starting to get shortened up.
Would agree. 75 pitches, now 76 is cut through. Strike 2 on Cameron, who's grounded out and flown out in this game. Again, .293 hitter, but .408 on base. Was 0 for 3 with a walk when these two teams faced off last month.
And 76 would keep him at 3 days of rest. You get up until 90 before that's hit. But just with the way that this game's trending, then you might look at throwing path signs he's already warmed up in.
Ground ball over towards first. Koenig handles that one, and the side is retired. Ooh, I think Gustafson tripped over third base as well on the tail end of that. This has not been a routine game by any means, but after 4, Columbus has the lead for the second time. It's 4-2 Columbus here on News Channel Nebraska.
Spring is here. For farmers, making safety a priority this planting season can be the difference between life and death. Always look out for power lines before exiting the cab, when loading and transporting machinery, and when raising or unfolding equipment. Keep equipment at least 20 feet from power lines and use a spotter when possible. Be aware of what's overhead. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. The Carpet Shop, providing quality residential and commercial floor covering and installation for almost 50 years. And by See the Trainer with locations in Columbus, Lincoln, Omaha, Bellevue, and North Platte.
On to the 5th inning we go. 2 runs in the second, 2 runs in the 4th. And Columbus has the lead for the second time this afternoon as we move to the 5th. Happy to have you with us. Tim Hackett and Elijah Moser here with you live from Pawnee Park in Columbus. Short trip for Norfolk as they conclude a busy week. It was prom for them on Saturday, and then they played on Monday. 2 games in the conference tournament in Lincoln on Tuesday. 2 days off from games the last 2 days, but still practiced, obviously, to get ready for this game here on Friday, and then they're done for the weekend. But Columbus will play Lincoln Standing Bear tomorrow, so one more game for them to navigate through.
And good to see Shatkowski back on the mound to start off this 5th inning the way that he blew through the 8, 7 through 9 part of the Norfolk lineup.
Ball downstairs on Schnorr. We told you, has really elevated himself into a featured role as a sophomore. Breakout game when these two teams faced off last month. 3 of 4 with a double, 2 triples, and 3 runs driven in. Hard to have a better game than that. Breaking ball into the zone, strike 2 on Schnorr, who's 0 for 1 with a walk, a steal, and a run scored. That all came back in the first inning to give the Panthers an early 1-0 lead. 2-2 off the end of the bat. Chopper over towards third. Zuha all the way across the diamond, pulls Wickham off of first. He said he applied the tag as he flew off the bag, but Schnorr is able to get through.
And I'm pretty sure he had the tag, too, just from my angle up here. Umpires sort of didn't go talk about it, but yes, he was off the bag. But then Wickham smartly tried to apply the tag. Here comes the look. No, he missed.
He definitely missed. Great look there on our Madison County Bank instant replay. I'm with you, Elijah. I thought based on they're going to take Schnorr off.
They called him out.
They called him out? Wow, I was looking down at the replay and didn't see the conference. Wow. So the call was safe, and then the call on the field was overturned. Wow. And based on our look, I thought Wickham missed the tag. Big break for Columbus in that setup, especially because leadoff hitter is retired. Great instincts by Wickham at first base. The base is empty now for Sinovic. And I was excited to see this matchup again. Here's the conference. They discussed it during that last replay, and clearly out was called. Well identified up here and well spotted by our camera crew as well. Sinovic takes on the outside edge, strike 2.
So trying to think back through that. First base umpire didn't see a tag being played, and so called it safe just based off the fact that Wickham was off the bag. They got together, and I'm assuming the home plate umpire said that he saw a tag, and then they ruled it out.
Breaking ball across the zone, strike 3 called. Sinovic gone looking for the second time, and that is now 7 straight sent down by Spencer Shatkowski.
Kind of an interesting afternoon for Sinovic. 2 strikeouts looking and 1 home run.
No doubts. He's the team's leader in on base, like we told you, but the strikeouts have been a big problem for him and for this team. Slow roller, off the bat of Papstein, throw from Roush. It's a great throw at the end of the day, but Papstein is able to beat it out. Look, I didn't think he had a chance to make that play, but that throw from Roush came in like a bullet and very nearly got him, but Papstein legs out the hit.
Now here on this hit, I don't know if we'll get a look at it, but it goes right off of Shotkoski. It comes right back at him. He tries to backhand it, and so if he didn't play the ball, it probably would have gone up the middle for a single. He tried to catch it, and it kind of dribbled over to short with Roush.
Very well identified. Would have been a 1-6-3 out had it been recorded, but Papstein legs it out. This fifth inning will continue. First pitch a little bit low on Braylon Vada, so that ends the run. Vada had been the only Panther to reach base after that solo shot by Sinovic on the first pitch of the third inning. That was on an error by Roush. Downstairs ball 2. Aside from that, it had been 7 in a row retired, and 8 of 9 retired by Shotkoski between the third, fourth, and fifth inning. Papstein's got his second hit. Vada's 0 for 2 after reaching on that error last time. Pitch way outside, late break. Here's the throw from Renteria, and out at second base. Papstein's gone down. Very nicely done behind the plate by Renteria. Papstein got a late break, and he was dead to rights. Late break. The throw from Renteria, tag applied by Quentin Gustafson, and that will do it. 5 excellent innings this afternoon for Shotkoski.
When you're looking for reliability, innovation, and performance, look no further than Woodhouse Ford. From the powerful F-150 to the versatile Escape and the spacious Expedition, Ford offers a lineup designed to meet your needs and exceed your expectations. Take advantage of exciting offers going on now. Browse our inventory online or in store at one of our 3 convenient locations in Blair, Omaha, and Plattsmouth.
At Nebraska Orthopedic Center, they provide comprehensive orthopedic health care. Their physicians are highly skilled in all areas of orthopedic and sports medicine, including spine surgery, foot and ankle, hand and upper extremities, fracture care, and total joint replacement. Their expertise includes the medical management of injuries through physical and rehabilitative methods or surgical intervention. To schedule an appointment or to learn more about Nebraska Orthopedic Center and their family of 25 physicians, go online to nebraskaortho.com. That's nebraskaortho.com. Nebraska Orthopedic Center is your healing destination.
Bottom of the fifth inning here at Pawnee Park in Columbus. Our coverage of this fifth inning brought to you by Sartor Heyman. Stunning engagement collections, exceptional diamonds, and dazzling gemstones at Sartor Heyman Jewelers. 2 runs in the second, 2 runs in the fourth for the Discoverers. Helped them build this 4-2 lead. Brendan Flood is back to at least start the fifth inning. First pitch swinging is Zuha, and the throw on to first in time, and he is thrown out. Very nicely done by the Norfolk defense to start off the fifth.
Magnuson to Kennick, pretty routine ground out right there to start off the bottom of the fifth. And really what I want to touch on is you talk about 2 runs in the second and the fourth. Well, if you really want to get even more specific, first and third innings, 0 runs, 0 hits. Second and fourth innings, 2 runs, 3 hits.
Let's see if Flood can make that a triple. If he can put up a 0 in this inning, that's exactly what his team is looking for. But he will face the meat of the order, Zuha, Kimberling, and Wickham. Ironically, none of those 3 guys have really been at the main seat at the table here. It's been the top third of the order and the bottom third of the order. Middle third is yet to really join the party. Ground ball over towards third, and Magnuson retires Kimberling. So back-to-back G5s to start off inning number 5.
And that'll bring up Wickham.
So these 3, 4, and 5 in the order for Columbus. Zuha's now 0 for 3. Kimberling's 0 for 2 with a walk, and Wickham's 0 for 2. 6 hits in the contest for Columbus. And 2 of them by the guy on deck, Jack Hollis. First pitch swinging Wickham. Deep fly out towards left field, and tracking it down easily, Papstein. Well, that's more like it for Brendan Flood. That is his first 1-2-3 inning of the contest, and it comes on just a half dozen pitches. Done with 5. It's still 4-2 Columbus.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options, Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
Welcome back to Columbus, Nebraska, as we move on to the 6th inning with the home team on top 4-2. Our coverage today is brought to you by the Kearney Sportsplex, which opened earlier this month. Brand new facilities owned by the city of Kearney, opening earlier here in April 2025. And it features a 59,000 square foot hardwood gymnasium with 3,000 plus spectator bleachers, 8 regulation high school basketball courts, up to 12 volleyball courts, and can hold 20-plus wrestling mats, a true multi-purpose facility. It's located on Eunice Drive, putting it conveniently near hotels, restaurants, and the new Visit Kearney Center. The Kearney Sportsplex officially open for operation.
That it is, and it is a state-of-the-art facility in central Nebraska. Really cool to get that added to the city of Kearney as well.
Senior Spencer Shotkoski will return to start the 6th inning. Braylon Vada was at the dish when Aiden Papstein was caught stealing. Both these teams have been good stealing bases this year, as we've told you. First caught stealing of the afternoon ended the 5th inning. So both of these pitchers face the minimum in the 5th. Slow roller over towards 3rd. Fielded off the turf by Zuha. Bullet throw across the diamond in time for the out. Good hustle by Vada, but a great throw for Zuha for the first out of the 6th.
And that's why Zuha is the third baseman on this Columbus lineup. He is just so skilled at making those types of throws and plays, and got him with plenty of time to spare.
We haven't even spelled this out. It's been a great afternoon for Spencer Shotkoski, and he's one of this team's leading pitchers. Not surprising at all to see him pitch in this game. There's a grounder towards 3rd. Zuha will field it, but it will just go into foul territory. I really wanted to see him cock and fire that one after the last one, but he won't have to. But this year, Shotkoski, 15 1/3 innings, at second on the team, by the way, but 14 earned runs, so that's an ERA of 6.39 before today. So far, 5+, 2 runs on the board. He's been really, really good.
One of his best outings of the year.
No question.
And with the momentum that he has right now, he's just like, let me keep going, coach. Come on, I got this.
Close to 90 pitches now as we play the 6th. As we told you, Columbus does have a game tomorrow to manage, maybe not worry about, but manage. Fly ball out towards left center, snared easily by Jack Hollis. His first put out there this afternoon. 2 gone in short order here in the 6th.
I mean, he has roughly 20 pitches to try and finish this off today. It's not out of the question if he were to have the leash to do it.
So you're right. So what Elijah's hinting at, if you're new to the territory like I was, there is a pitch count in high school baseball. So there is a certain tier that you get to where you are not allowed to throw anymore. Makshantsev pops it up, foul territory, first base side, playable for Wickham, and he makes the play. That pitch count may not even be a consideration. That is the second straight 1-2-3 inning for Spencer Shotkoski. Third straight 1-2-3 inning. He's faced the minimum over the last 3. Strong finish to this game for the senior righty. Columbus coming to bat up by 2.
With 2 board-certified physicians, Dr. Charles Harper and Dr. Alan Spanel offers a high level of expertise in internal medicine. If you're over age 18 and ready to find a trusted physician who will be with you throughout your years, Dr. Harper and Dr. Spanel are ready to provide you with the medical care you need. Whether you are healthy or have several medical conditions, as internal medicine physicians, they provide the care you need. Yankton Medical Clinic, Norfolk location offers so much care so close to home.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Speedy Mart. When you have to fuel your journey and feed the crew, whether it's many or a few, Speedy Mart is fresh, ready, super clean, and convenient.
Here, customers can expect the highest quality fuel that they deserve.
And when you make a pit stop, it's gotta be fast. Easy in, easy out. Speedy Mart for the win.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of pain, not just the symptoms. Schaefer's, we're more than just TVs and appliances. And by Claybaugh Pharmacy, your locally owned hometown pharmacy.
Bottom of the sixth inning here in Columbus. Norfolk is the first team to go into the bullpen here this afternoon. Brendan Flood does his job, gives the Panthers 5 solid innings. But he departs with his team trailing, and right-hander senior Braden Boyle is on for his team-leading 7th appearance of the season. Pitched briefly earlier this week on Tuesday against Grand Island. Boyle threw 29 pitches, and Norfolk's lost to the Islanders. As we said, he's now the team leader with 7 appearances, 9 1/3 innings pitched, 7 earned runs on 8 hits, so 5.25 ERA for the senior righty, 7 walks against 10 strikeouts so far this year. He'll face Jack Hollis, who's had an excellent game so far. They say he went too far in the first half swing. Strike one on Hollis, who has doubled and scored in the second, tripled and scored in the fourth. He's been a real kick-starter for this Columbus offense. Boyle kicks and fires, misses well outside. So with Hollis due to lead off, even though he's a left-handed batter, he hit Flood for 2 extra base hits. Not really a surprise to see Norfolk make this move now.
Yeah, this is the perfect time to make a pitching change right before we get to the hot batter of the day in the Columbus lineup. And this has been an interesting portion of the Columbus lineup, too. That's really done all the damage that 6 through 9 holes.
They've combined to score all 4 of their runs. That is definitely a good sign for Columbus going forward. As we told you, these two teams, as many teams are, I mean, at all levels of baseball, you've got your offense concentrated among a core group. So to see that be the case 15 games in for these two sides is not a surprise. 2-strike pitch, nice one from Boyle, had a lot of movements between a slider and a curve, but misses below the zone. The count runs full. So it's not a surprise to see the offense concentrated among a few key players, but storyline is which team can get more depth from their offense, and so far in this game, the answer has unquestionably been Columbus.
Columbus with those 4 runs, and again, if you're Norfolk, you're just looking back at the way that second inning played out. A couple of costly errors.
Getting to the finish line has been difficult for both of these teams. Columbus's pitching staff has been good this year. Their team ERA is .466, but Norfolk's pitching, their strength has been their starters. And it's a leadoff walk drawn by Jack Hollis after a full count. He's aboard for the 3rd time this afternoon. Comes here to lead off the 6th inning. Of a pinch hitter here for Columbus, Carter Renteria is due. And they will send up junior Connor Williams instead. Our first look at him this afternoon. This will be his 11th appearance of the year. He's just 1 of 14 on the balance of the year with 6 strikeouts.
And I cannot, as a Columbus native, bring up Connor Williams at bat without bringing up his father, the head coach of the Columbus High football team as well, Craig.
Strong ties throughout the athletic program here. Love that. Strike 1 on the pinch hitter. Renteria went 0 of 2. Reached on an error in the second and scored the second run. Struck out swinging his last time up. He's had a quiet year offensively as well, has Renteria. As has Williams, as we told you about. 1-1. Nelson would be next. We know what he's done so far today. The bottom of this order continues to make things happen. I'm not sure if Jack Hollis has batted 6th all year for Columbus. As you were saying, he's normally towards the top of the order from what I've seen, but dropping him down to the 6th hole has proved like a great decision. He takes off here. Flare ball hit by Williams into foul territory. Sliding to make the catch is Dish, the second baseman. Into foul territory, down to his knees. Hollis hustles back to get to first. Well done by him, but a stellar play by Dish at second base. And this is a look at what he has been able to do. True freshman, filled in at shortstop for much of this year, moving over to second base because the senior Braylon Vaught is back in the lineup. You can't take him out because of his defense. It's not been a perfect day for Norfolk defensively, but that was a really good play.
That it was, and now we have the bunt specialist up for Columbus. See if he does it again.
11 appearances for Nelson prior to today. He was 2 of 16 with 3 runs driven in. And today, two bunt singles, a run driven in, and a run scored.
I mean, how rare is it that you get a bunt single, and then how rare is it that you get 2 in one game? Like, come on, try to do it 3 times.
This is you want to see me do it again?
I do. I do.
Want to see me bunt for a hit? Want to see me do it again? Hollis takes a short lead off of first this time. Remember, he was off on the previous AB, and this time Boyle fires in a strike. If you have that ability to bunt for a hit, again, the first time I didn't think he was necessarily trying for you. He was trying to bunt to wreak havoc, and certainly that is what happened because a run ended up coming around to score on that sequence. 1-1 on him, straight swing this time, and he places a single into left. Third hit of the day for Zach Nelson. This one a little bit more standard. And either way, Columbus has something brewing here in the bottom of the 6th. The 6th spot and 8th spot. These two guys have combined all afternoon long. They've all reached all 3 times.
And that just makes the Nebraska Orthopedic Center player of the game race even more interesting.
It's going to be a photo finish. There's a couple of candidates, and again, Norfolk by no means out of this game. But right now they are in serious trouble here in this 6th inning. First pitch from Boyle outside on Colin Roush. So make sure you stay tuned to our player of the game. It's brought to you by Heritage at Fountain Point and by Nebraska Orthopedic Center. We will have a lot of deliberations before Elijah gets to interview whoever that player of the game is. Again, just a 2-run game. Norfolk has been in so many of their games. Again, at 4-11, Coach Dish told me this week they've had a lot of games decided in the last inning and indeed on the last at-bat of the game, including earlier this week where they lost in 9 innings.
And then the other question is, does Shakowski indeed get the 7th for Columbus?
That pitch squibs away and splits the wickets of Hayden Kelly. And both runners are able to advance. We'll go down as a wild pitch against Boyle. So Hollis now on third and Nelson now on second with 1 away.
And that pass ball is especially crucial for the fact that there's 1 out.
Yes.
So that takes out the standard double play from second and first with 2 runs in scoring position.
First base is open, but the top of the order looms. 2-1, infield coming in. Ground ball out of the reach of the third baseman into left. 1 run will score. They will hold up the trail runner Nelson at third. 9-hole hitter Colin Roush comes through. RBI single. Columbus goes up 5-2.
And so Jack Hollis ends up scoring 3 runs on the day off of a double, a triple, and a walk. And now runners on the corners.
This bottom half really of this Columbus order. That's our question mark coming in. Can they contribute? But moving Jack Hollis down to that 6th spot and confirmed by folks here next to us in the Columbus press box, he's hit leadoff almost all year. But hitting 6th here today, that has proven to be a real spark plug for this Columbus offense.
He must enjoy batting in 6th.
And ironically, Elijah, what it's done is it's given him the opportunity to lead off twice, even though he's not the number 1 batter in the lineup anymore. Ground ball over towards third. Backhand stop by Magnuson. All the way across the diamond. Tag applied by Koenig. He's safe at first. Koenig's hurt. The ball is loose, and the run will score. My goodness.
And the drop ball is going to be what makes him safe. And so you're going to have runners on the corners again as Nelson comes home. Here's another look at it. And so, that looks like that hurt.
Arms reaching out. The left arm, the glove hand of Nelson. Amazing throw by Magnuson to give this even a chance. But He bounced it towards the line, and Koenig, the first baseman, great instincts, reaches his left hand, his glove hand out to snag it. He did snag it, but then got run into by Quentin Gustafson, who was doing nothing wrong, just trying to beat out the play at first. Ends up running through the arm of Wes Koenig.
And you're going to see it again right here on the Madison County Bank instant replay. Here comes Gustafson right through. Koenig's going to outstretch that arm, and watch his arm bend backward here. Just look at that motion. That had to hurt.
First of all, that should be an out, shouldn't it?
He dropped the ball.
But when in the process does he drop the ball? Because he's got it in his glove with his foot on the bag, if you ask me.
You drop the ball, he's
because
safe.
Of the contact. But you got to hold on to it for a certain amount. You got to complete the catch, if you will. And was not able to because of the contact by Gustafson.
Do we need to go back to Des Bryant versus the Green Bay Packers? Is that a good analogy here?
In my personal history, yes, it is. He didn't catch it, by the way.
As a non-Packers fan, he did.
I cannot believe that was the reference that we made here in 2025, but I appreciate it. So now the question is, did Koenig catch it?
So it's going to fall right out of his glove as it comes on that back end. As you watch him go all the way around, his arm gets twisted up, and it falls right out like a snow cone.
So fielder's choice for Gustafson, and then the runner, Nelson, scores behind the play. Man. And as we told you about, you get the one last look at the replay. Left arm for Koenig just spins around his back. Cannot imagine that is a comfortable feeling at the very least. He is out, by the way, of the game. The runner is safe, but Koenig is out of the game. We're seeing him walk and now move out to the top step in the Norfolk dugout. So he appears to be all right, which is very good to see. And what you're looking at is our umpires. There's a look at Koenig in the Norfolk dugout. Great look by our camera crew here on NCN as our umpires wrangle all the lineup changes. What we can tell you, first and foremost, it is Makshantsev now at first base. He was the DH. So he's now over at first. All of that will continue the inning. There was one out, first and second. That ground ball hit by Gustafson. Could have been an out at first. It would have been second and third with two outs. But instead it's now first and third with only one away, and Columbus leads by 4. Late bluff steal. Throw goes down to second. Now back to Makshantsev. He will go home, and safe at home is Roush. Columbus executes the delayed double steal, and they tack on their third run of the sixth inning. It's now 7-2.
And that is exactly how you execute a first and third double steal. You're going to see it again. Gustafson takes off for second. He holds up intentionally, slides back to first, nice and slow, takes back off for second, and then at that moment, the replacement first baseman for Norfolk comes in, catches the ball, sees the guy taking off for home, throws it home too late, bang, bang, runner on second, another run in.
Could not have worked out any better for Columbus, as Norfolk does not record an out anywhere. Connor Cameron stands in. There's a look at Makshantsev, who's now playing at first base after the injury, unfortunate injury to Wes Koenig earlier in this inning. I say it to everybody, and I've been fortunate to cover this sport for a long time, Elijah, but I said it, covering baseball the last 4 years with student broadcasters. This sport, and softball too, but this sport is so much fun because you always feels like you see things that you've never seen before. And I can safely say I've never seen an inning like this sixth inning before.
And that's partially a credit to Columbus head coach John Reedmiller to recognize the change in defense for Norfolk, called the double steal, and it works out.
Popped up by Cameron, handled easily by Dish. Pitcher Boyle was going back behind the plate to cover just in case. No throw needed, no throw coming, and that is finally the second out of this sixth inning. Cameron's now 0 for 3. What this will do is give the meat of this Columbus order one more time to assert their authority in this game. These top hitters have not been able to do very much. Gustafson is technically 0 for 2 in the game. Zuha's 0 for 3, Kimberling's 0 for 2 with a walk, and Wickham's 0 for 3. Those are four names that we expected we would be talking about. Swing and a miss by Zuha, strike one.
And that's where it's even more interesting that we're talking about the back half in the way that they've stepped up. Hollis and Nelson and Roush each have had their moments in today's game.
Been really impressive with those three guys, especially have been able to do the difference in the game, no question about it. Columbus now leads by 5. Largest lead that they've had today and larger lead than they had at any point in their matchup last month. True rivalry game. We haven't even been able to talk too much about it because the action has been so intense, but you know when these two schools face off in any sport, the attention is there. It's a really good crowd right in front of us, behind home plate as well. About 100 people or so just that I can see. 1-1, well out of play by Roush for strike two. And these two schools, it's a rivalry. They're less than an hour of drive time apart, probably much less than that, 45 minutes or so, right? But they take rivalry to another level because not only is this, your local rival school, and a lot of schools say that, but they actually have something in practice to make this rivalry even more special. And Boyle adds his stamp on this one. Zuha is 0 for 3 as he 0 for 4, as he strikes out for the second time. That finally puts a blanket on the fire that was burning in this 6th inning. But Columbus scores 3, 2 in the second, 2 in the fourth, and 3 in the 6th for Columbus. And they've built a 5-run lead. Last call for Norfolk. Shotkoski will return when the 7th inning begins.
Whether we're talking commercial or residential plumbing, Lamel Plumbing is the place you call. Lamel provides 24-hour emergency service as well. Call them if you get in a tight spot. And as for their retail items, well, you got to check out some of their faucets, some of their kitchen items, and some of their bathroom items like their Onyx showers. And hey, say you've got a digging job, you call Lamel Plumbing for that too. They've added a full-time crew for you, doing backhoe, trenching, and sewer work. Take that digging job off your list and have Lamel do it for you. That's Lamel Plumbing in Beatrice, now at their new location on North 7th Street in Beatrice.
Champions are crowned each year in Lincoln. All of us at Visit Lincoln welcome the athletes, families, and fans from across Nebraska to our community. When the final whistle blows and the game ends, make sure to discover how Lincoln can make your stay even more memorable. Stop by the Visitor Center at 7th and P in the Haymarket or visit us on the web at lincoln.org. Visit Lincoln is a proud supporter of high school athletics.
From sunup to sundown, the work ethic of the farmer is unquestioned. As farming methods change and evolve, you need a financial partner to help you reach your goals. Elkhorn Valley Bank's experienced lenders are committed to providing dependable advice and fast local decisions, no matter the size of the operation. From farmland to livestock, you can count on us today and in the future. Elkhorn Valley Bank and Trust. There really is a difference.
To the 7th inning we go, 7-2 Columbus. First pitch swinging and fouling it back. It's Braden Boyle who will stay into hits for Norfolk, part of those lineup machinations that we were telling you about. Be sure to stick around after the game. We've got our post-game show. It's brought to you by KRT. KRT helps you get back in the action. Learn more at krtrelief.com. Ground ball by Boyle over towards second base. Scoop throw. Gustafson makes the play, and Boyle hitting in the spot previously occupied by Wes Koenig, so that was the change. McShantsev stays in to play first. Norfolk lost the DH, and Boyle hitting in that 7 spot. He is out number 1. We'll also, in our postgame, bring you our top plays. It's brought to you by Elkhorn Valley Bank. Visit Elkhorn Valley Bank for all of your banking needs. Elkhorn Valley Bank and Trust. There's a difference. It's also brought to you by Southeast Community College. Head to southeast.edu now and discover your path to possible. That's all coming up in our postgame show, which feels right now to be right around the corner. Shotkoski has been excellent, especially as this game has worn on. Swinging away, Maddox Magnuson, pop fly, right field line. 3 discoverers are there, and it's hauled in by right fielder Connor Cameron. Wickham dove out of the way. Second baseman Gustafson deferred, and Cameron was there for the out. 2 gone in the 7th. We were discussing with the folks here in the press box, Elijah, as Norfolk will send up another pinch hitter. This will be Noah Henricks. Complete games are rare at this level. Brendan Flood threw a complete game his last time up, only needed to go 6, but went all 6 for Norfolk. And Spencer Shotkoski, who had an ERA north of 6 prior to this game here this afternoon, in his 5th appearance of the year. He is 1 out away from a complete game victory. Henricks is the last hope for the Panthers. 0-1, cut on and fouled away. Got a piece, strike 2. So Henricks batting in the spot previously occupied by Caleb Dish. He's hitting 105 this year, 2 of 19. 2 runs driven in and 6 runs scored. Shotkoski 1 strike away, 1 out away. Here's the 0-2. Little bit outside. Brought back into the zone, but not close enough. We'll do it again. 2 quick outs in this 7th inning for Shotkoski, who has allowed only 1 hit since giving up the home run. That curveball misses a little bit inside. Didn't miss hitting Henricks by much. Second new hitter of this 7th inning for the Panthers. Trying to spark something, down by 5. Another 2-strike pitch. That one's well outside. Count runs full.
This would be his 100th pitch, and this could be his 7th strikeout of the day, too.
It's been a special afternoon for Spencer Shotkoski. Here is pitch number 100. Henricks fouls it away. That would have been a special way for him to end it, wouldn't it?
That it would have been. Another full count pitch incoming.
Sure, he'll take it on pitch number 101 as well. Middle infield playing back. Nobody out here in the 7th. 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. And on pitch number 101, Spencer Shotkoski completes a complete game victory. Columbus does all of its scoring in the even innings, more than enough offense for Shotkoski on this Good Friday afternoon. And the Discoverers even this season series. And they snap a 4-game win streak for Norfolk in the all-time series. And they improve to 6-10. Columbus, your winner this afternoon. Your final score, Columbus 7, Norfolk 2.
Zollner Ford in Beatrice has options to make the process of buying or maintaining vehicles easy and enjoyable. If you have your sights on a new vehicle, a member of our sales team would love to show it to you in the warmth of our showroom or bring it right to your driveway. For maintenance, we offer a few options to make service appointments convenient, like free pickup and delivery within 25 miles of Beatrice, including all of Lincoln. We can also come to you with our mobile service unit to help quickly get going again. Zollner Ford in Beatrice. Sales and service with a smile.
This broadcast is brought to you by Western Oil. Make your first and last stop to and from the game at your nearest Speedy Mart or good-to-go convenience stores today. See the trainer. Need relief from pain or support for recovery? Don't see just anyone. See the trainer. And by Zollner Ford Lincoln. Proud to be your local Ford and Lincoln dealer.
Pain can affect every aspect of your life. Chronic back, neck, nerve, and other pain can make work feel impossible, stop you from doing the activities you enjoy, and can even lead to stress and trouble sleeping. If you are dealing with pain for an extended amount of time and are struggling to do normal day-to-day tasks, turn to Dr. Balkaya or Dr. Prince at Faith Regional Physician Services to help you find relief. When you're experiencing chronic pain, finding the source of the pain is our first step. Our specialists use a wide range of diagnostic tests to determine how to control or manage your pain. You can expect us to discuss your goals, preferences, and lifestyle to create a treatment plan that uses innovative and safe techniques. You deserve to enjoy a pain-free life. Take the next step. Visit frpsclinics.org to meet our pain management specialists.
One thing about working, we've always had employers that took care of all the health care for us. Navigating that was kind of scary, unknown.
We try to do it on our own, but weren't too confident with, was this really what we should be doing? Sarah is a very welcoming, warm person, and we really enjoy working with her. We laugh, we giggle.
She presented several scenarios, kind of took over where the employer left off.
See, it's all on who you can trust, right, hon?
Yes, Chair.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. Central Nebraska Orthopedic, dedicated to the motion of life. And by Southeast Community College. Head to southeast.edu and discover your path to possible.
There are many details that can set your dream apart from anyone else's. But what sets the banks that you are considering apart from each other? At Boone County Bank, what sets us apart from other lenders is our flexibility. We offer a wide variety of loans, and we pride ourselves on providing lending options for commercial, residential, and agriculture needs to make your dreams a reality. Our lenders have both the practical experience and product knowledge to ensure your solution is a perfect match for your needs. Boone County Bank, here to help you grow.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. I love it. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
We're definitely coming back in the future.
We have a wedding band to buy. So.
We do, yes. We have wedding bands. We'll be back for that.
Starter Heyman Jewelers, downtown 12th and O, South Point Pavilions, and Grand Island.
And welcome back to Columbus, where the Discoverers pick up a 7-2 victory over rivals Norfolk, now joined by head coach John Reedmiller. And coach, 6th win of the season, get to avenge the loss you had to them on opening day. How's that feel?
Oh, it feels fantastic. Our guys put a lot of work in this week, getting some stuff done, and I'm glad we were able to pull out the win.
And just talk about how you guys were able to do it. The top lineup wasn't really hitting today, but you used that back end to put in 7 runs.
Yeah, I mean, all of our guys, 1 through 9, we feel confident. We put them out there for a reason, and that they're going to produce when they get the opportunity.
All right, talking here in the bottom of the 6th inning, you had that double steal. Is that something that you called based off of the defensive substitution at first base?
So we've actually been working on our first and thirds. We put a big emphasis on it in practice, and it wasn't really because of the injury or anything at first. It's just we needed to make sure we scored that run, and we've been doing a good job in practice of it, so that's what we did.
All right, finally, Coach, I just want to ask you about your star pitcher, Spencer Shotkoski. 7 strikeouts, complete game. You just want to talk about his performance today?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Spencer's a guy that just as the game goes on, he just gets better and better and better, and we're so excited for how he pitched today.
All right, Coach, thank you for your time. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Now I'll bring in Spencer Shotkoski, our player of the game. And Spencer, 7 strikeouts. How'd that feel?
Oh, it feels awesome, especially against a rival. It started off slow, but got it going later in the game.
You guys gave up that home run there early on, and then you pounced back, and you had 3 straight 1-2-3 innings. Were you just feeling on the mound after that?
I'm not going to blame it on Moto, but he forgot his pitch card, so that I'm going to take that on him because he made me throw a fastball down the middle, but it's all good. We'll come back.
Throwing some shade there, aren't you? You got this whole team behind you. Pick up your 6th win of the season. How does that really feel?
It feels awesome just knowing we're at home, in front of the home crowd, against a rival. It's just an extra good feeling.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency.
How are you guys going to celebrate this win?
Probably go out to eat somewhere. I don't know.
Where are you picking?
McDonald's probably. That's kind of a main pick usually.
All right, Spencer. Well, you go celebrate, enjoy the JV game, and best luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, we'll step aside. When we come back, Tim will walk you through our top plays.
Hey, sports fan.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Currency is here to help. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. And by Heritage at Fountain Point, redefining senior living with a steadfast commitment to comfort, compassion, and dignity. Heritage at Fountain Point in Norfolk, living better.
Hey, sports fans, heading to the big game tonight? Make sure you stop by Speedy Mart before you hit the stadium. Fuel up your car and grab your favorite snacks and drinks to keep your energy high. Whether it's chips, soda, or a quick meal, Speedy Mart has everything you need to kick off your game night right. Don't miss out. Swing by Speedy Mart for all your pre-game essentials.
Speedy
Mart. Snacks before the game.
If you're thinking about becoming a John Deere technician, receive a debt-free degree from Landmark Implement. With the John Deere Student Tech program, receive reimbursement for up to 100% of college tuition, fees, books, and room and board, plus a $5,000 tool stipend. Students are paid a competitive hourly wage for their work hours and are guaranteed employment at a Landmark location after graduation. Visit landmark.careers to find out more about the John Deere Student Tech program and become part of the Landmark difference.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of pain, not just the symptoms. Schaefer's, we're more than just TVs and appliances. And by Claybaugh Pharmacy, your locally owned hometown pharmacy.
Liberty First Credit Union. It's for you. You live in Nebraska or the surrounding states? Then it's for you. Want to earn cash back on your transactions? Then it's for you. Are you ready to start banking with purpose? Then Liberty First Credit Union? It's for you. We're not your typical credit union. We support you with personalized banking that's open to everyone. Start banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union. We're for you.
Be the MVP in your kitchen with these mini crispy chicken and waffles. With this simple recipe and the right appliances from the team at Schaefer's during Munchie Madness. Whirlpool is stacked with saving.
Currency is here to
Get started on your next adventure at Woodhouse GMC. From the power of the GMC Sierra to the versatility of the terrain. No matter where you're headed, we've got a ride built for the journey. Strength, style, and space for moments that matter. Take advantage of exclusive offers going on now. Shop in-store or online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Looking for expert general contracting? Ashoff Construction of Osmond has you covered. Whether it's agricultural storage, commercial office spaces, retail warehouses, or concrete work, they do it all. Their AGI Sentinel buildings are built to protect your crops and assets, and their skilled team manages everything from design to completion. Get a free estimate today. Call Scott or Dylan at 402-748-3551 or visit ashoffconstruction.com.
This broadcast is brought to you by Western Oil. Make your first and last stop to and from the game at your nearest Speedy Mart or good-to-go convenience stores today. See the trainer. Need relief from pain or support for recovery? Don't see just anyone. See the trainer. And by Zollner Ford Lincoln. Proud to be your local Ford and Lincoln dealer.
A fun afternoon on a cloudy Friday in Columbus. The Discoverers defend their home turf and avenge their loss from the first game of the season by defeating their rivals Norfolk, their final 7-2 this afternoon. Now it's time to take a look at our top plays brought to you by Elkhorn Valley Bank and Southeast Community College. Columbus taking on Norfolk. These teams have faced off almost 40 times in the last 24 years. Columbus has a stranglehold on the all-time series, but Norfolk has won the last 4, including a victory in the season opener. We'll pick it up in the bottom of the first. Norfolk scored in the first inning to take the lead. But with Brendan Flood on the mound, he strikes out Grant Zuha and Sawyer Kimberling to strand the tying run at second base. To the top of the second inning now. First in a number of miscues for these two teams defensively. Leadoff hit by designated hitter Alex Makshantsev. He's able to get to second base. And eventually he's cut down going to third. Spencer Shotkoski on the hill for Columbus. It's a ground ball off the bats of Jordan Schnorr to end that second inning. Again, Norfolk has a runner on second base but cannot add to it. Columbus does score 2 in the second to take the lead, but that lead did not last long. First pitch of the third inning, first home run of the season for Ethan Sinovic. But Shotkoski was excellent after that. Here's an error by shortstop Colin Roush that allowed Braylon Vada to get on base. but Norfolk hardly had any base runners after that. Zach Nelson was a real difference maker for Columbus in this contest. He bunted successfully for 2 separate hits, helping sparkplug Columbus in the 4th inning, and this ground ball hit by Quentin Gustafson ended up bringing in Nelson around from third. Norfolk nearly had an out at first base, nearly had an out at home, did not get the out called on either occasion, and Gustafson scampered on to second base. So Columbus scored 2 in the 2nd to take the lead, and then scored 2 in the 4th to go back in front. Leadoff triple from Jack Hollis ended up spark plugging that one. Braden Boyle, the relief pitcher, on in the 6th inning for the Panthers, and Colin Roush out of the 9 spot dribbles a single through that left side to drive in a run, and then Gustafson, a ground ball over towards third, all the way across the diamond from Maddox Magnuson. This was a key play in the game. First baseman Wes Koenig makes the snag, but Gustafson runs through his left arm as he tries to beat out the play at first base. That forced the ball free, forced a run in, and forced Koenig out of the game with an injury. Boyle still on the hill, runners on first and third after that play, and Columbus pulls off the delayed double steal. Gustafson going to second. Roush ends up coming home on the double steal. He had 2 singles, an RBI, and a run scored out of the 9 spot, and that capped things off for Columbus. They win it 7-2 in this rivalry game over Norfolk. Here's the final out for Spencer Shotkowski, getting the pinch hitter Noah Hendricks to swing and miss his 7th punch out of the day on his 101st pitch of the day. That caps off a complete game victory as Columbus defeats Norfolk in this rivalry game 7-2. That's how it all looked on this Good Friday afternoon from Columbus. Many thanks to everybody involved on our News Channel Nebraska team for putting this broadcast together. Huge thanks to my partner, Elijah Moser, who was awesome alongside me, Tim Hackett. My first time running things on this side of the operation here on NCN. It was a ton of fun to be a part of. We figured this game would be a fun one with these 2 local rivals doing battle. It was close for a long time, but that 3-run 6th ended up being the difference for Columbus. And fittingly, that was the difference for Norfolk when these 2 teams faced off a month ago. A 3-run 6th was the difference for the Panthers in that win. 3-run 6th ends up paving the way for Columbus to win this one. Shotkowski will get the win, courtesy of that complete game victory. He goes the distance. He's now 2-0. Brandon Flood takes the loss. He is 0-3.